Hello and welcome to a Bergkamp Wonderland live Q&A special. Of course, it's like the transfer deadline day, isn't it? I'll be joined tonight by, first up, there's Danny. I've not done witty intros because it's live. This is.
Some would say you never have.
No, well, it's debatable, isn't it?
That's
but
debatable.
Say hello to all the good people listening.
Hello, good people listening. How are you all? Good. They're all fine.
Wonderful, I heard that.
Yes.
Next up, I'm joined by David, or as you might know him, Goonaholic. Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm not too bad at all. How have you been this week?
You're going to wish that you hadn't asked me that because I can't lie to anybody. I'm going to have to give you the truth.
Go on, do it.
If it sounds like you've got a dirty caller on the line, we got a crossed wire, that's me. A little bit of breathing problems this week, but nothing that won't be sorted out by Monday.
Oh no, Kate's in the walls as well, aren't you, Kate? You got a bad leg.
I have, and it just goes to show the perils of running. Because I was fine until I tried to run upstairs to have a wee, and then it pinged, and now I can't put weight on my foot, on my leg. Trust me, I need to put weight on my leg. I have to stand on it all day.
And that's a magical way to introduce you. So hello, Kate.
Hello.
Next up, we shall move over to Dom. You're in Canada, aren't you, Dom?
I am.
Did I hear correctly when I heard Jeff say that he was going for a beer with you this evening?
Yes, the great man, OG. I'll be catching up with him later on today, and we're going to sort out the world, obviously.
Magnificent. Are you going to get shit-faced?
Well, probably not. I've got to work early tomorrow.
Oh, just don't go around Charlie Sheening everybody. Right, next up, I shall go to Kris. Hello, Kris.
Evening, Gam. You alright, mate?
Yes, I'm not too bad. I'm looking forward to the wonderful questions that our listeners are going to chuck us tonight. So let's...
Oh no.
Someone hasn't muted their window, have they?
That's me. I apologise.
You're going to argue with yourself until you realised it was you.
I thought, who's that? That sounds like me. Oh, God, terrible voice.
Oh, squeaky! I'm a mouse, you know.
Let's kick us off with a talking point then, while we have chance for some of the listeners to get some questions in for us. So, Danny, what would you like to talk about this week?
I'd mostly like to talk about potatoes.
Potatoes. Your mum is a potato, isn't she?
She's been to see her sister she lives in Merton in Wimbledon, near Wimbledon in London. Imagine those two sat round, fucking chain smoking, just having a drip of tea and that for 3 days.
Yes, I do. I love your baked potato.
Oh, not a word. You'd have to even if you had someone who understood the lingo, they would not understand a word. Because when those two go and their accent just goes all wonky, they virtually forget how to speak English and they just make noises at each other.
Is it like you're watching the film Snatch?
It actually is. All it is caravans, potatoes, and more tea, Vicar.
And dags.
That's it. It's like a cross between the film Snatch and the Craggy Island. What was that called? With the priests.
Father Ted.
It's like Father Ted meets Snatch.
Was it like a bad transsexual Irish Chuckle Brothers?
Oh, dear. Neither of them are above 5 foot tall.
Wow.
They're always getting ready for panto.
Jesus.
Danny, what's your mum's name?
Anna.
Because we were looking around the fish shop the other day, Maidenhead of Crafting.
Oh, we call her Moogie.
And there was a thing, I can't remember what it was. I think it was a butterfly. No, it wasn't. It was a potato puffer.
It was a potato puffer, yeah.
We were going to buy one and name it after your mum, but it was a bit not very good looking. So then we decided we were going to get it and name it after you because you were part Irish as well. So.
And it didn't move a lot. It didn't.
Yes.
I'm not part Irish. I'm 100% English. I don't do that shit. You are in the country you were born. I'm not British. I'm not Irish. I'm English.
Well, we didn't get one anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But you know.
No, it was 30 quid, and it was like it was just a little bit too much to try and make a joke, to be honest. And plus, they're really violent.
What does she think about Mesut Ozil?
Mesut Ozil.
Right, she is actually an Arsenal fan. If you ask her, it's her fault. I support Arsenal.
What do
and
you
my
mean
dad does.
fault?
Oh, she picked for the Arsenal kit, didn't she? When I was 5 or 6, and I needed a kit for school. Oh, have you never heard this story? If you have, but if you ever bloody listen.
I don't know. Oh, we have our first question, and it comes from Boy10 Dio.
He's a cheeky monkey. He's a regular.
And he has asked, how do we all feel about Aubameyang rumours circulating, and do you think he's worth the 40 million quid being touted about? Personally, I don't think he is. But Kris, I know you watch a lot of European football.
He's worth every penny, but it's not going to happen, in my opinion. He's not. It's only his first season really as a striker, which is why I say he's worth the money. Because any player that's able to try to sort of change his position in the course of a season. I mean, I think he's the third top scorer third scorer in Europe now. I think I'm right in saying I might be incorrect there, but no, he was recently. And he's got everything. He's good in the air. He's good on the deck, both feet. He's a good athlete. His sort of record of playing games is pretty consistent, so he's probably worth it if you look at what the modern day players are going for. It sounds like a lot of money, of course, but if you look at the current level of money, it's probably worth it. But it's not going to happen. I mean, he's integral to Dortmund's title push. We say that Bayern have probably won it, but he's integral to everything Dortmund do, and he's pretty much their only centre forward. So
do you really don't think so. Why this is his third season, but it's only his first season as a striker? Especially as he came to the club as a striker.
Yeah, I mean, he played up front for St Etienne when he first come through the ranks, but he could play as a wide forward there even, but he made his name really with St Etienne sort of playing through the middle. Then he went to Dortmund. Of course, they had Lewandowski, who you might have heard of, who was obviously rather good for Dortmund. So it's almost a little bit of the case of the Cavani Ibra thing, where yes, he was signed as a forward, but he was forced to play wide in a three. So Dortmund employed him one side, Reus the other side, and Lewandowski through the middle. And then, of course, when Lewandowski moved, and indeed Götze moved as well, he was moved into the central striking role. And I say they have got Ramos, who's bang out of form, but they haven't really got another option through the middle. And they gave him the license to play there this season, and it's paying off. So he's kind of their main man now.
Very good. There's another question coming, unless anybody wants to answer that. Follow on from Kris. I think he's covered that quite well. Okay. David, what do you know about Nolito? Because we've had a question here from ABBZMO, who asks, would you sign Nolito if it's true he has a £12 million release clause?
You're asking the wrong person. I used to watch religiously all of the European and South American football every weekend, and now I just pretty much, apart from the Arsenal, I will only watch the Spanish games. So, no, I haven't got an opinion, unfortunately.
Okay, fair enough. Anybody else know of Nolito?
You know who does.
I was going to say I do, but I don't want to bore everyone to hear.
Go on, Kris. You're the only one suited to answering this question.
I'll give Tom a plug. As far as if you tweet Tom, he'll wax lyrical because he watches.
Hello.
But
I'm just waving to myself.
And go check his blog out.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, at tcounter94.
I was just on telly.
Were you?
Yeah, on Sky Sports 5. It's Bergkamp and Highbury, and I just saw myself sat where I sat.
Oh, good.
Don't eat the cakes.
Was it just a bald head over a barrier?
I just don't eat the cake. I'm trying to send myself a message. Don't eat the cakes.
If only the old time machines were real, Danny.
What
Have yourself a DeLorean.
Wheel away from the cakes.
God.
I'm not listening, am I? I'm still fat.
Anyway, Nolito, yeah, he's very good. It's kind of in his breakthrough season. He was really good against England the other night, actually, when he came on for Spain. He kind of, I wouldn't say changed the game, but he gave him a better attacking thrust. He's kind of a wide forward who can play through the middle as well. So there seems to be a pattern developing here. I think, if my memory serves me right, he said the only team he would leave Celta for would be Barcelona. And Barcelona have got 3 fairly handy strikers at the moment, so don't think that's going to happen. So money talks, but I don't really think wide forward would be our priority in January if we were going to do anything in January, which we all know we won't anyway. So I don't think it's going to happen, but I think he would suit the Premier League.
Very good.
Why is somebody put in this window and then you can smell her? I can't find the other half to that question.
I think that was popped up at the time when we were talking about your mum and her sister, was it?
Oh, they probably stink.
Like boiled potatoes.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, don't be horrible to your mum.
Oh, they're both chain smokers.
You're being horrible to Danny's mum as well. You can stop it.
They're terrible. No, my mum she smells quite nice. There's not very much of her, bless her.
Is it lavender?
I
Saw
don't
a
know
lot
what
of
it
people
is.
smell of lavender.
She always gets a few nice bottles of perfume every Christmas and birthday from my brother. He's either telling her that she smells or that he likes it. Yes. And I just get her. Actually, she said once she's got this thing for marshmallows bags. At once I bought a massive big box, probably about 2-3 foot that way, 2 foot the other way, and about 2 foot deep. Maybe a little bit smaller. And I spent about 70-80 quid filling it full of bags of marshmallows. She got through the entire lot in a couple of months, and she said, "I really need to stop eating those marshmallows." And I said, "Well, I can stop you eating them." She went, "No, how?" I said, "Well, I can tell you something that will make you stop eating them. My mum's a vegetarian. Do you know where this is going?"
It's got gelatin in it.
Stuff. She's not eaten another one since I told her.
Oh.
The only pleasure she had in life, I mean, it's got gelatin. You know, when they melt down bones and get all the gel out of them, that's what makes them sticky. She doesn't eat them anymore, but my brother does get other ones from Amazon, the really expensive non-gelatin ones.
Nice.
Yes, so this is why she hates me.
Fair enough.
Great goal by Bergkamp against Southampton.
Okay, Tom, we'll go to you. Someone's put here, Brian Muller, Thomas's brother, has asked you, Debussy, Jenkinson swap in January?
Probably not. If unless Debussy, kicks up enough of a fuss and wants to leave. I don't know that we can even get Jenkinson back in January. I don't know if that's an option or not. I think that it's a season-long loan, so straight away that'd be out the door. But I've always been a big fan of Jenkinson. I think that he's those defensive positions. Sometimes they take just a few years extra to start to learn the position, and unfortunately, if you make a little bit of a mistake, it tends to cost your team a goal. So your mistakes are highlighted a little bit more than perhaps if you're up forward and you mess up. Nothing too bad seems to happen. But maybe next year I can see Debussy going. He obviously wants a little bit more game time, and he's not going to get that with Bellerin. But then I guess it's up to Jenkinson to know that he'd be coming in as the number 2, and it would be up to him to try to fight for the spot or be happy being second to Bellerin. And at Jenkinson's age, maybe he would want to go out and play some football. But if I could, then definitely I'd love to have Jenkinson as the backup, pushing for the first team spot. I think it would be quite good for the next 5, 6, 7 years. At right back would be sorted.
It's yet to be seen whether he would give up playing every week to effectively be a backup, because let's be honest, Bellerin's fit, he plays every time. David, what's your take on this one?
If I put myself in West Ham's shoes, who would I sooner have? They've got, everything's on their side, and I'm sure they would sooner keep Jenkinson, who's playing well, than take a player who's having a bit of a playing in fits and starts and not earning his place back. So I think it's a no-brainer. He won't go there.
I think you must also take into account as well the fact that Debussy's injury record hasn't necessarily been the best, even at Newcastle. I think that when we bought them, they were saying, he's only had a good 6 months for us anyway, in the whole time he's been here. So I think there's many things to take into account with it. Kate, would you like this one? Would you like Jenkinson back if we can get rid of Debussy?
Yes, but I think he should finish the season at West Ham, because unsettling him midway through won't do him any favours. Plus, I don't really think West Ham will want to let him go in January. And, let him finish the season, then bring him back in the summer.
Yeah, you got to look at it as well from a monetary sense, that all the time he's at West Ham, his value is going up and up and up. So maybe that's a thing to look at as well. So let's see what other questions we've got. Or is there anything any of you would like to talk about? If you're listening to this as we speak, and there is a member of the panel you specifically want to ask a question to,
not just football.
Not just football. It can be absolutely anything you want. But I did notice in there that Danny said I'm wearing Kate's clothes. I'm not.
Kate? What did he say?
He said he was not dressed for going on camera.
And what did you say?
Is he wearing my clothes again?
There you go. He is.
She said again. Let's get it right. Again. That wasn't now. That was again, implying that I'd done it before, but maybe it could have been now. I can confirm it's not.
If there is anybody watching and you are trying to use your mobile phone, and whenever you try and type something into the chat, it tells you. I'm just going to go and do it on my one so I can tell you exactly what it says, because we're getting one person went a bit mental and thought we'd blocked him. Hold on, so there you go. I'm reading on my phone. I go to live chat, don't know if you people can see this. Click on live chat. Come on. Oh, there you go. And if I type something in there like this, and then I click send, on my own phone, chat message failed to post. This is my own phone on my account. So there you go, people. We haven't blocked you. It is wanky bloody YouTube being an arsehole. But if you can't do it on your PC, it will work. Or your Mac.
I can't do it because I went in to listen to the radio show the other week and you were on it, and I was going to put just a piece of random abuse to you, and it wouldn't let me do it. So
and we don't know why it is. We've only ever blocked 3 people, none of which are Arsenal fans. So there you go, people. So don't get the ump. I know Steve, who is cooling nose, says he's got a question because he can't type it in. He says, can't message the live chat show, but how do you think Suarez should be used? 70 minutes a game or play safe and risk a full 90? Ooh.
Suarez?
Sanchez, I hope.
Crikey.
Sanchez! What am I saying? Did I say Suarez?
Yeah.
I saw the S, I saw the Z. I don't know. I got carried away. What do I know?
Do you want a second bite at that?
No, you know what I mean.
well,
I got the gag.
The FBA's kick off in 10 minutes. For those of you unaware, that you might have voted for us. We're up for an award this year. We don't know if we've got it genuinely, but I'll keep you updated as I've just put a little thingy on their tweet, so every winner will flash up. Unfortunately, we haven't got a representative there tonight because you're all so important as listeners. We've decided to stay here and podcast for you.
Also, it was the only person who could go was Kris, and the train was 250 quid, including somewhere to stay, and it's in bloody Manchester.
And we're not going to fritter away the money that you've donated to us in the off-season to just go on. We're not the BBC.
No, we'd have sent 12 of us.
Yes.
via business class.
No, or if we were the government, there 12 of us would have gone up there by stretched Hummer.
All sounds painful.
Yes, it does. Right, let's see if there's any more questions there from Gooner News TV. Is that Liam?
It is.
Hello, Liam. Is Flamini going to be a shareholder for Arsenal in the future? Well, he's richer than God, isn't he? Or he's.
Yeah,
would anyone like to talk us through this story for those who are unaware? He's got a biochemical company, hasn't he?
He has. I don't know much about it. I only read a news story on it, but apparently he's made billions.
No, potential, he could make trillions and billions, because rather than using oils, because as we know the dinosaurs died, they got mushed up into the ground with leaves and stuff, and then millions of years later we put pipes down and we suck all that lovely yummy oil out, and then we burn it and use it for stuff, and it kills the planet. So what he's done is found some way of using acids and breaking the acids down into stuff that can be replaced as fuel rather than oil, and it's there's no bad side to it. Hopefully using acids from oranges and lemons, because St Clemens might make a few quid out of it. But yeah, and he kept it very, very quiet. He didn't tell anybody, and now he might be a multi-billionaire. So you never know, he might get more games if he buys the club. Come on, the Flame.
I think it was believed to be that his company, if the testing that it's done is all legit, that his company could be worth up to about £20 billion, which means he could quite easily afford the club with change. A lot of change. A hell of a lot of change.
So much change, nearly all of the change.
Change will do you good.
Hey.
Right then, next question. Maybe it's because you logged onto the same computer. That's not a question.
But someone said, no, that's not it. No, this is my own. My phone's got its own account.
So
I've got my own GFP account. We got this is the podcast account I'm logged in with. No, it's not that. It's because YouTube is silly people. Can't say too much to my shooters.
Danny. As if you guys have got Bully from AFTV on. Surprised he's got time with the stadium tours.
Come on, we've only got him for 10 minutes. We can only afford £1,000.
But he will be signing autographs afterwards.
I'm having an argument with someone at the moment on my own Twitter account. People who believe the Earth is flat. He's really arguing me that the Earth is really flat and it's a conspiracy.
Oh,
another conspiracy theorist.
I should ask him if he's a Spurs fan and then just block him.
Right, questions, people. If you're listening to this, we need some questions.
There was some further down. Dom's been very quiet, so if we can find one for Dom for hair care products or charming the ladies, you just come and ask him and he'll tell you perfectly what to do. Where was one? No, that was someone asking about Gav. We all love Gav. None of us have got a problem with Gav. We'd love to see Gav back, but due to circumstances beyond our control, like the BBC say, we can't at the moment.
What
Can't
about
wait.
Twitter? What's happening with Twitter questions?
That's
Is there
what
any Twitter questions?
I'm looking through now. There was one earlier on, and it was asking about Chelsea getting relegated. Oh, it goes. This is from Assist Me Baby, who is at that Fly Gooner. I've got a question for the pod. Do you think Arsene knows something about doping in football? Has he been talking about it a lot? Oh, there you go. Dom could answer that.
Oh, probably.
There you go. That's that one
There you go.
sorted. Any more questions?
God, we're flying through them.
No, because it is my industry and because I am pretty close to that kind of stuff, it's a difficult subject to talk about because to me it's not a big deal. To me, not saying that it's okay because it's not, and it's not something that I'd ever advocate at all. But it's a common practice. It's one of these things that happens at clubs underneath the table that people don't really talk about. But you'd be very, very naive to think that it doesn't happen all over the world in all different types of sports. And when people say, "Oh, but they get tested all the time," it means nothing. Drug tests are really, really easy to get around because they're stupidly expensive to conduct, and the people that are making money cheating the system make more money than the people trying to catch them. So you've got a situation like where it's a supply and demand market basically. So the common theme that Lance Armstrong, Marion Jones, all of those people had is that they never actually tested positive for anything, and they would have been the most tested athletes in the world. So really simple to get around. There's a lot of substances these days that are performance enhancing that are illegal that are pretty well undetectable. So you've got things like peptides and stuff like that are natural occurring hormones in your body that you sort of release when you do certain exercises. Your body naturally produces them, and they've found ways of recreating them synthetically that you can just inject into your body after a good workout and you'll recover really, really quickly. So basically it allows you to do 6 months worth of training in 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So if you've been playing a lot of games and fatigue is starting to catch up with you, it's probably maybe it's something that Arsenal should look into. Maybe that's the answer. We should get on the peptides and follow what Chelsea do, because they don't seem to be able to. They seem to be able to cope with that heavy schedule a lot more, and their players don't seem to get rotated a whole lot. And one of them will tear a hamstring and be back 3 days later. So I don't know what's going on there, but wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, you'd be very naive to think that that sports around the world aren't using these things, it's a shame, because you don't want to be watching your team and supporting your team and sort of in the back of your head thinking that it's not an even playing field. But unfortunately, that's just the way that it is at the moment.
I wish though, with the Russian doping scandal that's gone on at the moment, if they'd have carried that out a few years earlier, we might have got an extra year out of Andrei Arshavin, mightn't we? Or he might have looked a bit more bothered.
There's a really good interview with, is it Matthew Syed, I think his name is, a journalist, on the Times podcast with Gab Marcotti this week. So they had an interview with him, and they went into quite a lot of depth about the situation, and he had some really interesting answers that's well worth. It's about 40 minutes long, but it's a really good discussion on how some drugs basically would have no effect on football and other drugs would have quite a big effect. So it's well worth a listen.
The only drugs you need is amino acids, Dom?
You're under that.
I'm on the amino acids. Oh, Dom,
can I just ask Tom something? Dom, Arsene was saying today, he was talking about how ridiculous it is that we do the drug tests on urine, because of the time it takes, and it'll hold people up travel back from Europe in midweek. And why don't we do the drug testing on blood? Because it would show up more anyway. Is that true?
Yep, very true. Yeah.
Okay.
So, as an example, with the Tour de France, because it's obviously probably the most drugged-up sport going around, that's what Kris was saying, is that people think that performance-enhancing drugs or steroids are the ones that everybody's taking. And when someone says steroids, they think Arnold Schwarzenegger. But steroids come in all different shapes and forms and different types. And a lot of the stuff that the Tour de France guys were taking, which was the EPO, is not a steroid. It's just a substance that helps you carry more oxygen in your red blood cells. So oxygen basically is one of the key factors in firing muscle fibers, and if your oxygen level in your blood is a lot higher, then you can run around and do a lot more. So that's where testing urine doesn't show that up. Testing blood does. So you can sit there and have a look at the hematocrit, which is the blood to oxygen ratio in the blood, and if it's over 50 points, that's been deemed to be unnatural. There was no test for it before 2005 in the Tour de France, hence why they were all just going to town. And there's what's called a half-life with all drugs. So the half-life of EPO is only about 4 to 8 hours, which isn't long. So if you take that at the start of the day, you can put your levels up through the roof, but then by the end of the day, say, if you take 100 milligrams at the start of the day, 8 hours time, there's only 50 milligrams in your system. Another 8 hours time, there's 25 milligrams. Another 8 hours, 12 and a half. So that's how a half-life works. So you can dose yourself up at the start of the day, run around and do what you like, and then by the time you get a test, your levels are back down to what's deemed to be sort of natural anyway. So there's so many ways to get around it, and that's only one example. But yeah, your wee test doesn't tell you a whole lot unless you're Danny, who likes to study his wee quite a lot. But yeah, blood tests for sure. I mean, you can just do A samples, B samples, and that's where you can get people. So if I was conducting drug tests for Olympic athletes, I wouldn't do it after they win a gold medal, because they are technically clean after they've won the gold medal, because they've gotten a lot of the time they've gotten the benefits of the drug from their training, and then they get, they just stop a few weeks before the Olympics and it gets cleaned out their system. But for the 8 months of training beforehand, they've been juiced to the eyeballs. And if anyone ever gets caught at the Olympics, I always just go, didn't time that very well, did you? So that's that. I just look at it differently because I'm around it all the time. But generally, there's so many different ways to get around it, and there's so many different substances. And yeah, urine tests these days are just basically a bit of a waste of time unless someone's really shat the nest and done something silly, because it's not going to show anything a whole lot. And that's the other thing with drug tests. They don't actually look for substances because there's so many. They look for levels. All they do is look at your blood oxygen level, they look at your testosterone levels, they look at different levels in your system, and if anything stands out and looks unnatural, then they're just going to say, oh, you've been taking something. They might look into it further from there. But generally, it's only levels that they're looking at, and there are different drugs that you can take to suppress your levels. If you take a diuretic, it thins your blood, so therefore whatever you've got in your system isn't as prevalent, and it thins out your levels. So there's so many different ways that you can get around that particular thing. That's why I guess Arsene Wenger maybe. I mean, that's the thing. I think he'd want to be careful about what he says and how public he is about what he says, because it wouldn't surprise me if one of his players eventually goes off on their own and decides to get a little bit of extra help. I mean, if you're a professional athlete and the difference between you making £100,000 a week and not playing professional football is taking a bit of an extra substance, I guarantee what 95% of people are going to do. They're going to go for the substance and just hope they don't get caught, because they're going to be able to give themselves a better chance at doing what they love. So if you're a fringe player and it's make or break time and the coaches are saying, oh, your fitness levels just aren't quite up to scratch, or Joel Campbell, for instance, who doesn't seem to be able to get through 20 minutes without blowing out of his rectum, if he decides to get on a little bit of extra help to give himself that bit of a push and he can run up and down the wing all day, then hey, he might end up giving himself a bit better chance of having a better career. So you want to be a little bit careful about what you say in the media with that kind of stuff, because it is such a touchy subject and it's so hard to control what your players do.
Didn't Nate Diaz, the UFC fighter, just get a 5-year ban because they only tested his urine, they didn't test his blood, and when they did test his blood, they said after there was nothing in his blood, and they said
that was Nick. That was Nick Diaz, and he was he was just smoking weed. Yeah, and that's why people got up in arms about that, because Anderson Silva's taking proper steroids and he only got a 12-month ban, and Nick Diaz just smokes a bit of hooch and gets life. So an interesting one.
That being said, though, Nick Diaz, I think it's his 4th offence. So yeah. He is a bit of a prat, to be honest. People know.
But would you call it performance enhancing?
No.
He's not. He wants to hug
you know what? That's the thing. That's the difference, isn't it? That's why people got up in arms about it. Is because Anderson Silva was taking something to cheat. That's what his purpose of taking that substance was to get an advantage. Nick Diaz isn't trying to get an advantage when he's just, ask Gimli.
I smoke quite a bit. And I'm physically disadvantaged every single day.
I reckon I could have you.
Well, you should see it
when he wakes up.
You should see it's performance enhanced. Then I do this podcast every week, a bit stoned, so you be the judge of it. Have they got better over time?
Yeah. Well, I've got a question here from our mate Pally, who is at PALLY_11. He says, if you had a choice of Arsenal winning the league or Chelsea getting relegated, which would you choose? Ha ha. Kate, go on.
Arsenal winning the league.
David?
Because you could never go against it. Sorry.
I thought you'd, yeah. Do you want to add some more to that?
No, that's it. You carry on.
David?
Kate's spot on. I'll take an Arsenal winning anything over anybody losing anything else or going down or whatever. Arsenal for the league.
And if you listeners here, David doesn't sound like he's doing it from the toilet at the train station. He has a lovely new headset on, which you beautiful people paid for.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's very happy now. Good, because we were a bit worried. Thought he was doing all of these podcasts from a toilet somewhere. He might have been homeless, but turns out he wasn't. He's all nice and warm, drinking beer.
Oh yes.
Kris, what do you think? Is it a silly question? You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, just twigged that. No, it's not a silly question, but it would be Arsenal the way. I'm 100% with Kate and David on that one. Yeah, 100%.
Dom, wise words.
You got to go with Arsenal winning the league. It's almost funny though, isn't it? Watching Chelsea. My favourite German word is Schadenfreude, which is the emotion you get when you watch other people fail, and that's what I feel every time I see Chelsea at the moment. Especially watching Mourinho's press conferences, they're one of my favourite things to tune into. If he does them, and if he actually does them and doesn't just refuse to speak to the media.
Gimli?
Yeah, it's got to be Arsenal every time, hasn't it? Even above Tottenham being relegated, it's still got to be Arsenal.
Well,
as piss funny as that is, I just want to see our club succeed on every level, and I'd love to be the best in England again. Who wouldn't?
It's where I claim brownie points because I'm the only one here I suspect old enough to have seen Tottenham relegated.
You probably are, apart from Danny, he's pushing on.
I remember getting Chelsea getting relegated. That was only 87, 88. Yeah. Oh, so much history. When did they get relegated? Didn't the Spurs go down last then?
74, 75, something. In the mid-70s anyway.
I was alive.
And luckily, we were very close to it a couple of times, whisper it. But
1993, 94. I went 94, 95. That was a very close. We were about 5 points off relegation at one point, but that we were playing. We had about 1,000 games in hand, though, didn't we?
But aren't we the only club in England never to leave England's top flight?
No, Everton haven't either, and I think there's one more.
We've got the most number of seasons in the top flight. Now, Everton have got the most number of seasons. We've got the most unbroken seasons, but we got relegated when we were Woolwich Arsenal.
13.
Yeah. And then we finished 5th. Spurs finished 2nd, and we got promoted and they didn't, or they finished 3rd. But that's just an election kind of thing because no one likes the Essex club.
Middlesex.
I knew it was one of those places. We've got a comment here from Lord Hillwood. He says, is Jason Davies still fond of a Joan Collins in the front garden, or has he cut back to Kit Kats? I don't know what that means, but he's put 4 fingers, picture of Lady Garden, a
I know
Cadbury's
exactly
cream egg
what that means.
up, and a
Don't
Kit
go there.
Kat.
No,
Don't go there.
please don't go there.
Rude. Is it rude?
The answer to the
Steve.
question, Steve, is old habits die hard. I think it's fair to say. But there is no better man than Jace at the skills he's performing.
He has got a GCSE in lady loving. He should be here tonight, but he's not.
I believe he might have moved up to 3 Kit Kat junkies now.
Oh, don't. That's why I'm fat. Kit Kat junkies.
What, the peanut butter ones?
On Saturday
White
night, it's a
chocolate.
Caramac.
Oh, speaking of chocolate, do you know what I saw in Tesco's earlier? Toffee
Chocolate?
crisps with honeycomb.
That's just dirt. I'll have 10 of them.
What's toffee crisp with honeycomb?
It's not right, is it? I could quite seriously eat 10 of them. And I don't even know what they are. I'll just take the risk.
In the middle of crunchies.
And you wonder why you got bigger tits than Katie Price.
I used to be, when I first moved in here, when I was 22 in 1993, I was about 10 stone. And then I
Could you
peaked at
walk
about...
then? Could you walk?
I could stand up. But then I just decided, no more, I've had enough. I'm going to milk the government for every penny I can get. And then, then I sat down and then, boom, 22 stone, like that. The blinking of an eye. I reckon there's just someone holding on to the back of me and I can't get round to see. That's the only explanation.
But isn't that what you get when you eat your ice cream out of a food mixing bowl?
So I used to go to Tesco's 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 or 3 cheesecakes, my own weight in crisps, and as much Lucozade as I could manage. Got fat, didn't I?
We've got a question for Dave in the chat box. Let's ask Dave this question. I want to know what he's got to say.
Go on then.
It says, where will Arsenal be in the next 10 years, as we have seen... Oh, it's now moved. We have seen a decline in the last 10... have we? What? As we have seen a decline in the last 10 years, question mark, so it's not really a question, the statement. But anywho, can you see that in the chat box, Dave?
He wants to know what Arsenal will be in 10 years.
Yeah, where will we be in the next 10 years, as we have seen a decline in the last 10?
I would not argue with the fact there has been a decline. I don't think it's lasted 10 years because I think we're on the way out of it now already. And if you want my honest opinion, I believe that in 10 years' time we will probably be reaping the benefits of all of the money that we're now making as a result of the ground move and improving the commercial side of the club, and particularly, of course, if they keep on milking us as well. So they've got, 3 real good revenue streams going for them there, and there's no reason why that money should not earn us a place at the top table almost permanently. I think England is going to go, the Premier League will go pretty much like the Spanish League, in that you're only going to have 2 or 3 contestants for the title every year, because I think the rich will go on getting richer, and we are going to be one of the rich clubs.
What about, was there anyone here that would argue that we've declined in the last 10 years? Is there an argument to be made to say that perhaps we've actually taken steps forward as a club? As much as this on-field success isn't what it was in the early 2000s, is there an argument to be made that you could say that we haven't actually declined in other areas?
I think you're right, Dom. Well, I don't know if you think that yourself, but I think that. I don't see how we've, that there's a natural decline, but you're competing against teams that are non-competable. So I mean, I don't know what people want. I think would we have quote declined had Chelsea not had the money they've got and City had not had the money they got? I'm not sure.
We'd have run away with it. It'd be us and Man United, and Man United have fucked up, haven't they?
Yeah.
So by now we would have been on our 3rd back-to-back title.
And I don't think back-to-back FA Cups. I know it's recent history, but that's hardly a decline. I mean, I don't really.
Good enough for me.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams would bite their hand off for a cup run full stop. So I mean, it's a tough one, because I can see. I'm not saying there isn't an argument to be had. There is, but I would definitely lean on the side that we haven't declined. And would we have signed a Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez 10 years ago? Probably not. So No,
that's why I make the point. I think we've come back. I don't think the decline was 10 years. And in terms of decline, I was talking just about the football. Yeah. When the Invincibles broke up, the quality of player we brought in to replace them, necessarily because we didn't have the money, had to be of a slightly lower standard. And so what we achieved in those years was quite remarkable. But the playing side, there was a decline. The club, though, you're quite right, progressed as a result of building this stadium and making the steps forward they have done off the pitch in terms of their commercial income.
So Dave, another question for that is, if Chelsea and Man City didn't go in with the billions of dollars that they had, would we have been good enough to win a league title or 2 over that period of time?
I think in the last 2-3 years for certain, and I also think, was it 2008, 2009 when Eduardo got the leg break? Well, I was convinced we were going to win it that season. So yes, I think we probably would have had another couple.
Yeah.
How about if we'd have stayed at Highbury? Just as we reached the Invincibles, we were the best team in the world. Well, that's maybe my overrated opinion, but if we'd have stayed at Highbury, we'd have had all that money coming in. We wouldn't have wasted £300-400 million at a stadium, including all the charges and stuff. Do you reckon if we'd have stayed at Highbury, that Chelsea and Man City would never have been able to catch us?
Highly unlikely, but just purely because of the match day revenues that they were getting. That was the reason we had to move stadium, so you got double the crowd in effectively, or not quite double, but you know where I'm coming from there. And you're now talking about £3 million a game coming in. So if you were talking at Highbury, it was about 1.6 over the course of a season. You very quickly get your return on your investment there.
I also think, sorry, Danny, I think with the amount of money that both Chelsea and Man City have actually, and even to an extent Liverpool, have chucked at their squads, I don't think that there's anything that you can do to compete with that other than if you can't beat them, join them. But, we didn't have the owner in place that wanted to do that, did we?
True. What was I going to say? Leading on from that question. Aren't we the only team in the Premier League that can survive on match day income only? I'm sure that I read that.
No, we don't.
Surely
No,
Man
most
United
definitely
have got to be
don't.
up there. Yeah.
Man United don't charge as much, do they?
No, but the money they make on sales of stuff pre-game, I would imagine, is close to what we make. I would have thought, if not more.
Commercially, aren't they in the
Yeah.
top 2 or 3 in the world?
I think they are. Yeah, I think they're only behind. Is it only behind Real Madrid? I think it is something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're definitely one of the most for their history, for all their faults. They are probably the most commercial English club.
Here's a question from Akib. Akib, he says, I can't watch it, but I have a question. Why is DT such a... Oh, I can't read that word out.
Cockwomble.
We don't know Akib, bless him. He might just be a very angry man. Don't know.
It comes naturally to some people, Akib.
Davey Boyd, who is at BOYD_D1, says, is the common agricultural policy still doable, or do you think in these days of austerity it should be shelved? Is that like there with crop rotation in the 14th century? I've got no idea. Yes, shelve it. Who needs crops? Common agricultural. We want upmarket agriculture. That's the only thing we really need.
The real answer to that is you would have riots in France if you did.
Yeah, they do love their sheep and their cheese. They do tend to block the roads and things don't go. Right, Makumi says, should Wenger hold on to Debuchy? I think everybody yes or no. I'll just have a look and I'll go from left to right. So David?
Yes.
Dom?
Until the end of the season, yes.
Kate?
Same as Dom till the end of the season.
Kris?
Yes.
And Mesut Ozil?
Nah, let him go.
Gimli, that's you. That's your picture you tit.
What?
Do we keep Debuchy?
No, I thought you meant Mesut Ozil as in should we let him go?
No, that's your picture. I was pretending you were Mesut Ozil.
Oh,
you could have gone with it. It'd have been hilarious. It would have been a highlight.
It wouldn't have been.
No.
Yeah, we're back to the drugs and the performance enhancing.
It's
To answer
not
your question,
working, is it?
no, it's really not. No, we
You're
shouldn't
getting a
get rid
licking
of
from a
him.
puppy.
We're too. We're too short in that position, in my opinion. But end of the season.
Oh, they keep cutting it out where I sit at Highbury. You shits, you've done it again. Henry scores a goal, runs off to celebrate, comes right up where I am, and then they cut to another player. You absolute racist shits. That's the other end. Never mind. Right, questions. Done that one from a key.
We've got a question from Aaron Farrell.
Aaron, yes.
He tweeted at us. His question is, how happy is everyone that the Irish qualified?
I'm delighted.
Potato.
Why you trying to like me, Dad?
Who's that? Who listened to Bewitched?
No one's going to admit to doing that, and it weren't me because I was laughing.
I wouldn't admit to that.
Yeah, I'm delighted because I want to see them. I wanted to see Scotland get through as well. I want to see all the home nations get there, and I want to see them all play.
Stan Collymore was at the FBA's tonight.
Was he?
Yeah, they must have had car parking outside. That's all I'm saying.
He's one of the judges, isn't he?
Yeah, is he? I don't know.
I'm sure he is. Oh no, he's up for an award, isn't he?
If he hasn't voted for this podcast, he can go fuck himself.
Isn't he up for the most influential sports
Bellend.
account or something? No, not Bellend.
Good. Well, I hope he wins because I personally like Stan a lot, and I know people give me grief over it. Oh, to see Ian Wright score his 179th goal. Oh, bless him. Everyone just should be watching Sky Sports 5 while listening to us because it's really good. Oh, another great goal by Ian. That's twice he scored that 179th goal. Oops.
Right, another question from Jake Riley. Petr Cech's getting on a bit now, and Szczesny's a liability. So what about a new young goalkeeper, Butland maybe, and Kate?
I don't think you get on in goalkeeping terms. Look at what's his name. Van der Sar was still playing, and Seaman was still playing when he was older. Petr Cech's not that old in goalkeeping terms, is he?
Petr Cech is performing every single week. I don't think it's a position. Why are people? They're all just like, oh yeah, we've solved the problem. Oh yeah, well let's go and get a backup to. Do you know what I mean? Our fans are never happy.
Never.
Petr Cech.
We've got Emiliano Martinez or whatever his name is. He's going to be better than Szczesny. He's going to be an absolute worldie, that kid, I think.
Doing brilliantly at Wolves at the moment. Many clean sheets.
He's injured, but there's very high raps on the kid, and they'll definitely be keeping him around for sure. I can see him taking over from Cech and Chesney just sort of being... Because Kate's right. Cech's still got another 2-3 years of top quality goalkeeping. I'm talking like world-class quality goalkeeping left in him, let alone, he might still be reasonably good for another season or two after that even. So
you look at
nothing short-term that we need. Yeah, 33. He's only 33.
He's only 32. He's got another 7 years in him at least.
Yeah. He's got at least 3 seasons of like what he's doing now. He can do that for another 3 seasons, yeah. And Chesney's not going to want to sort of hang on and wait around for that. So that's why I think Martinez will be ready to step up into that before, as far as timing goes. I think Chesney's just a little bit too old now to fill that spot because we won't need anyone for another 3 years.
Plus, I think Roma like him and they might make a bid for him. Should get 10 million for him, maybe more. They got plenty of money.
He gave an interview, didn't he, recently about it, like saying about Chesney saying about it. He basically said that it was really difficult for him to leave, but he felt he needed to play, and that he'll always be Arsenal unless he's told otherwise. But he's enjoying his time over there. So he basically said all the standard political correct answers. And I wouldn't be surprised if he got moved. But to replace Cech, we've just got probably one of the world's best goalkeepers on his day.
One of our best.
I mean, why would you try and replace? And goalkeepers can go to their, like Kate said, 36, 37, 38 in some cases. So, and Butland is a massive talent, no doubt about that. But you really think he's going to go from Stoke for a couple of quid? I mean, he's going to be 25 million odd. That's what they're going to want for him. So
he's only 23, isn't he, Butland?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And they sold Begovic. They're not just going to ship another keeper out the door straight away, are they? I mean,
Wenger does trust an older goalkeeper. Look at Lehmann, Lukic, Seaman. They're all well near close to 40 by the time he let them go. And Lehmann, we could have kept hold of.
Yeah, and I think I'm obviously I'm not an England fan, as people probably know by now, but I think he's better than Joe Hart, Butland. I really do.
What about the Southampton? What's the Southampton one? He's really good.
Fraser Forster, he's been out injured, isn't he? Yeah, he's got to get his place back from Stecklenburg, but I think he's a more realistic option if you were going to go British. But again, I suppose he's got a previous fitness. But yeah, he's very, very good. He's a big lad, Forster as well. I think he's 6'6", something like that. So
there's some young good talent out there, but I think we've got one. We've already got a young kid that's backup, I guess, or that's a future or project, or whatever you want to call them.
He's thought really highly of, isn't he? And he's already made the Argentine national side as a cap early on in his career before he'd hardly even played for us. So that says a lot to me.
Got another good question here from James Cooper, who is at Jim Coop 2407. In recent seasons, what injury has been the most damaging to Arsenal? I can actually say, put your hand up if you want to answer it. No one is. I don't know. Go ahead.
I think I mentioned it early, didn't I?
What?
I think I mentioned it earlier. I think the year Eduardo's leg got broken we would have won the league if he stayed fit. That's the one for me.
In recent seasons, I'll say it's a throw up between Theo with his ACL and Aaron Ramsey that season where he was scoring for fun. They both got injured around about the same time, and we were well on track to win the league then as well. And we just had no pace up forward and no options, so poor Giroud got tired and the wheels kind of fell off our title run a little bit. So I think either one of those two was quite costly too.
Someone give Gimli a nudge. I've gone Kate, and then after he's finished, give him a nudge.
Oh, he's upstairs. But yes, I'd say Perez, because he never came back quite as good as he was before he got injured.
How old was he, Kate, when he did his knee?
Was that against Newcastle?
28, wasn't he? I think.
Yeah,
dived in the FA Cup.
I think he's 28.
And he never was a very sort of speedy, athletic, zippy player, was he? He was more of a Rolls-Royce cruisy, just class type player. So yeah, it would have slowed him down a little bit for sure. And at 28, it's a bit harder to recover from than Theo, where Theo was only 24, something like that when he did his.
I've got Gimli, what's your answer? Because I've got a good one that no one's going to pick.
Well, I completely agree with David. I think it was Eduardo. I think he was probably one of the best natural finishers we've seen at this club in a long time. And if he'd have stayed fit that season, I'm almost certain he would have fired us towards a league.
My answer is going to be... Oh, go on, Kate.
No, carry on. I want to ask Dom a question.
My answer is going to be Robin van Persie. And I've just been to check the stats, and I'm right. 06-07, he scored a goal every other game. He got 11 in 22. Then he got injured. Then he come back the next season. He got a goal every other game, got 7 in 15. and then he got injured again, out for the rest of the season. Then he come back and he got 11 in 28, injured, out for the rest of the season. Next season, 9-10, 9 in 16, better than 1 in 2. Got injured again, out for the rest of the season. And then you look, if we'd have had, he was with us for 8 years, so take out the first couple of years because he was getting used to the game over here. If we'd have had him fully fit for those 6 seasons, I mean, when he was fully fit in the last season for us, he scored 37 in 48. Imagine if Robin van Persie had been fit for the entire time he was with us, not only would he probably have broken Ian Wright's record, because those 8 seasons, 30, 40 goals a season, you can probably get close to it, and maybe Henry's as well. And then just look what he did. And the only real 2 decent seasons he had was the last one with us and his first one with Man United, and he was untouchable. Imagine if we'd have had him for all those seasons. So I'd have said a fully fit Van Persie.
Can I counter that?
No, because you're going to shit on my fireworks.
Only slightly. You make a good point, but I think if he'd have been fit the whole time,
He'd have left.
He'd have been sold, yeah.
You're right.
I genuinely do. I think the only reason that the top, I mean, I know we're a top club, but the only reason an elite side didn't move for him when he was because he always looked like a player, let's be honest, as much as a scumbag as he is now, he always looked to football. He was always a massive talent, and the only reason that no team come in with a massive bid for him was because he was constantly injured, and a team with a lot of money doesn't need to take a risk on an injury-prone player. They can just go out and buy the ready-made, regular fit player. So I think he probably would have gone, I don't know, maybe 3 years, 4 years earlier had he been fit all the way. Because he was good enough.
He only ever played 2 full 38-game seasons. The last of us, the first with Man United, and in those 2 seasons he scored 56 goals. That's just how much quality that bloke had. You don't really think about it, do you? And it wasn't just that as well. I bet he got a fair number of assists as well. And he could play out. He could play wide left as well, couldn't he? I think he spent some time out. Did he?
He did in his early career. Yeah, he was kind of left. Yeah. Where all Arsenal strikers sort of start their career on the left,
or go to die.
Left, yeah.
What were you going to say, Kate? You were going to ask Dom a question.
I've got a question for Dom. While we're talking about injuries, did you see that horrendous injury in midweek for the Honduras player? What are the chances, do you think, of him ever playing again?
I didn't. I saw Kris tweet a vine of it. I don't really like watching people snap their legs in half.
Can I explain it to you?
Oh,
no, don't.
You can explain it. Was it a knee or mid-leg?
Basically, your knee bends backwards?
Yeah.
It went the other way.
He's bent forwards at a 90-degree angle.
Oh, okay, so he's put his legs straight. That's
off.
That's tough. I've seen people go to the side where their knee collapses inwards and it kind of nearly goes at 90 degrees, and you're going to tear an ACL and an MCL, which is similar to what Theo Walcott had. And you can come back from that if everything goes well, but when you have something as horrific as that, then you're tearing nearly everything in there, and cartilage damage and all sorts. And I mean, maybe, but yeah, it's probably not.
It was. I just saw one picture of it. I thought, oh, I'm not looking at that again.
So, another question. We've got, who is your marquee signing next summer? So we'll go through the people then. David, we'll start with you.
Oh, don't ask me this one at all. Everybody who knows me knows I hate speculation about transfers. I try not to write about it. I try not to go there because I'm always going to suggest someone that we're not going to buy. So it won't be Benzema this season.
Oh dear, ouch.
Can we accept that as an answer, Danny?
Not Benzema, that'll do, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be for FFC in the showers. Right, who next then for that one? Dom?
Sure, I don't know. It's either got to be a good midfielder that comes in with Flamini and Arteta. Obviously won't be around next season, so a really good quality defensive-minded midfielder would be nice that can maybe push into the middle. Schneiderlin, can we get Schneiderlin? Has that boat sailed? Or maybe a forward. I wouldn't mind a wide forward. I think there's a little bit, personally, a little bit too much stick with Giroud and Walcott. I was looking through some stats the other day. When they have both been fit and playing, one or the other seemed to score a goal every time they played. So I'm not sure that the central striking position's up too much of an issue. It's just that we don't have that sort of talisman, sexy kind of striker that we've all been used to having over the years. We've been a bit spoilt with them. On the left, Alexis is scoring enough. It's the right-hand side for me that we're not getting enough production out of. Regardless of who's starting out there, they're not scoring goals a whole lot. So maybe a wide forward, I don't know who.
Could we not switch Alexis to the right? Did he not play for
Yeah,
Chile
I
there
don't have
in the World Cup?
Yeah, put Alexis on the right, but then we need a good left forward. So one of the two.
Reus. Marco
Yeah,
Reus on the
there
left?
you go. That'll do. Bang.
Shit, Blake. That's my answer.
Thank you very much.
Just looking at his stats now, he's 9 goals in 27 games for Germany. He's only just 26 last May, and for Dortmund this season, 9 in 13. He's playing a more of attacking role now because I think the whole team are playing more attacking. Last season, 11-29. Season before that, 23 and 44. But I think Dom said once, many times on a pod, the amount of assists he gets as well is fantastic. The amount of games he's played for such a young player. So he's 293 for all clubs, 111 goals. But some of them he was playing in the German 3rd and 4th divisions, or 2nd and 3rd divisions when he was at.
If you put his goals and assists together per game, it's insane. He's either scoring or assisting just about every game. He's an unbelievable player. So yeah, why not him? But it's not going to happen. Let's be honest.
No.
He's already said that he'd only go to sort of Real Madrid or Barcelona or somewhere, I think.
No, fair enough. Kate?
What were we talking about?
Who is your marquee signing?
Oh, I'd go Marco Reus as well. Said
Yeah?
that at the beginning of this season. I'd like him there.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Marco Reus. Chris? You're going to come up with some fucking old boy that plays in the
Mozambique.
Peruvian 8th Division Mining League. No, I'm going to go with Nabil Fekir. He's just got everything: pace, skill, can play right foot, left foot, both wings, through the middle. Just bags and bags of talent. And Leon didn't charge. I mean, Olas is a difficult negotiator, but I honestly think if you went with 30, 35, I think you get him. And if Lacazette moves on, which seems to be likely, I can't see Fekir sticking around either. So, yeah, I go balls out. And he's the perfect, if you're looking at certainly Cazorla sort of getting on in years, and you want a new sort of number 10/deep playmaker, he fits that bill absolutely perfectly. There's no player better than to replace Santi in the long run than Fekir for my money, and he's young as well.
Fair enough. And Danny?
I was going to say Marco Reus, just for the reasons I've said before, but then I do think that we do need to get someone fantastic in a holding midfield. We don't like to use the DM phrase on here. I think we're better than that. Someone who can kick you in the balls from midfield. So there could be so many. Schneidlin, I don't think Schneidlin's going to be too happy at Man United, because when you've got, I don't think when they signed him, had they signed from Bayern Munich, big fat bloke.
Did Schweinsteiger come in first?
Yeah. Well, kind of the same time. But
no, they got 3 or 4. They've got Carrick, they've got Schweinsteiger, they've got him, and I think there's one other one they've got as well. I think that's too crowded, and I think at one point they're going to want to get rid of him, because it's great to have all these players, but if they don't succeed, then they're going to have to cut the wage bill, aren't they?
Carrick will be first out the door.
Yeah, I was going to say Schneidlin will be the last one on the list out. He's been the best of the 3 of them there.
Yeah, I've got to agree with that. We've got Ellis and John have asked pretty much the same question. And there is West Brom away, Norwich away, Sunderland home, Villa away, Man City at home before Christmas. How many points will we get from those fixtures? And John's asked, how many will we win the next of those games? So who wants to take that one? Kate? Do you want to have a walk through with that, and we'll see how many points do you reckon we can get from those?
What was it? Who have we got? West Brom
away.
Win.
West Brom away.
Yeah, we'll win that.
Norwich at home. Norwich away.
Win that.
Home to Sunderland.
Win that.
Away to Villa.
Win that.
Home to City.
Do you draw?
Oh, again, your predictions. You did predict that we beat Bayern Munich 9-0 home and away, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I said 3-1.
Just as bad. Then we've got Southampton away.
Draw.
And then we've got Bournemouth and Newcastle at home around Christmas, New Year.
Win-win.
Bloody hell.
So we'll drop.
We should have won the league 10 years back to back then, going by your predictions.
I like to stay optimistic.
Deluded.
I can't ever. I'm really terrible. The only time I've gone against Arsenal winning was against Chelsea, and I think I can't ever go against Arsenal winning.
Did we lose?
Probably. I
Is it
can't
yours?
remember which game it was in particular I went with this.
Any of them, you lose them
However,
all.
I can't. I just can't do it. Call me rose tinted or
Rose tinted.
Bloody
Dick,
rose
but-
tinted.
Yeah,
Hippies.
shut.
Sharp.
Yeah, sharp. Right, David. Same question to you then.
I'll take 5 wins out of those 7 as long as one of them is at home to Manchester City.
Would be nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the key to it all. Otherwise, we need to win the other. If we don't beat City, we need to beat the other 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when is Aguero back yet? Isn't he just making?
I don't believe he is back yet.
I thought he'd be coming. Oh, that looks painful. Yeah.
He's got a month, hasn't he? Almost to the day.
What? Until he's back?
Until we play them.
The
21st
talk
of
is
December.
the talk is he'll be back within a fortnight. That's
dear.
the talk. He's apparently ahead of schedule. So.
Just enough time to re-injure a calf and be out for
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
Hamstring.
That would be good. Okay. Who else hasn't answered that?
I think we'll draw one and lose one and win the rest.
Well, I think we're going to lose to City, draw with Southampton, and I think we're going to lose 1 and draw 2 and probably win the rest. No, realistic. 9-0 all of them.
I'm kind of with you actually, Danny. I think we'll drop points at. I think we'll probably draw with City. Weirdly, and I hope I'm wrong. I don't think we'll beat Villa, which I know is a weird thing to say, but it's a typical. Well, it's just a typical Arsenal game to underperform in, and I think we'll probably not get a win at Southampton. Personally, the rest, realistically, I mean, Bournemouth, Newcastle, you've got to think they're home wins. West Brom away on Saturday won't be a easy street, by the way. Wouldn't be surprised if we got a draw. Well, to be honest, they're not. They're wretched, but they're a Tony Pulis side.
I mean, defensive-wise, they tend to kill the game.
Yeah, exactly. And Pulis knows how to beat us. That would be my only concern. If we go up there and do a Man United or a Leicester and we get a couple of goals in front, they haven't got enough to fire back. But if they get a goal and sit on it, we could be in a bit of bother there. So
I think so much of it's going to rely on how the players come back from international break and the ones that didn't go away, how fit they are, because we were on our last legs after the Bayern Munich game when we got the draw against Tottenham. We were running on treadmills out there. It was ridiculous. So
Sanchez get a knock.
Completely. Yeah, he had a bit of a calf strain against Brazil, and the manager said, "Oh, we're going to give him to the last minute. You know, he's pretty sore in his calf." And I knew that they'd play him for the 90 minutes because they're fucking idiots. And so he's going to, he hasn't looked all that great the last couple of weeks. I'm probably going to get slated for saying something negative against Alexis, but far out. Is there any danger of him not giving the ball away 15 times?
Yeah, I was going to say he's lost the ball more than any other player.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with that kid, but he either needs a rest or a slap or something, and just do the simple things and work your magic further up the pitch, because he's giving the ball away in deep areas as well, which is really silly, and it's nearly cost us a few times. It's just he's been lucky that it hasn't. But yeah, I don't know. Look, if he, if someone asked the question, if he gets rested this week or doesn't play, who plays there? That's the big question, because we're so thin in that position at the moment. Theo won't be back for at least another week or two. He's not going to be ready for West Brom. Probably won't be ready for the week after either. Oxlade, Chamberlain, Ramsey aren't going to be ready this weekend either. So it's pretty thin. You as a manager, you sit there and you go, well, what do? You play him or you play someone like the Jeff?
Dom makes a good point, just quickly, a point that I think not many people have really carefully thought about. Dom's bang on. People are thinking, this weekend, for example, Ox, Bellerin and Ramsey are supposed to be back in the squad. They're going to take a good 3 weeks, I would guess. Dom will put me right if I'm wrong, but I would guess a good 3 weeks to get up to speed. They're not just, and particularly with Theo and the Ox, who are obviously reliant on their physical speed attributes, they're not just going to walk in and suddenly be brilliant. People have to be a little bit patient with how these players are coming back in. Just because they're quote unquote fit or in the squad doesn't mean they're going to walk straight back in and be exactly the players they were on form before they went away. So we're going to have to rely on what we have relied on probably for a good 2 or 3 weeks. And you know what Arsenal's like. He's not just going to go, okay, you're all fit, in you go. I think the only one I can really see definitely playing on Saturday is Bellerin. And let's not forget as well that there is a doubt on Koscielny, because he certainly wasn't himself the night, and I think the manager said today that he wasn't sure whether he would play or not. It depends what state of mind he's in. So, then you're down to 2 centre-backs. It only takes one of them to get a knock, and we really are up shit creek.
I can tell you right now, I'm very doubtful that you'll see Ox and Ramsey against West Brom. And you definitely won't see Theo against West Brom. Who have we got the week after? Norwich? He won't see him there either. He won't play that one. But yeah, Chris, you're spot on. With soft tissue injuries, which are the ones that these guys have got, you go into a state of rehabilitation. You're back in the gym, you're back into some strength and conditioning, you're waiting for the muscle to repair itself, so you lose all your fitness. These guys are so finely tuned that it only takes them a week and a half, 2 weeks of not being able to run around, and they're out of shape as far as having that match fitness is concerned. So, it's a different ballgame. You can run these guys around in training as much as you like, but you can never replicate the intensity of a game. And so these guys will come back into the team and they'll be absolutely cooked within 10 minutes of playing their first game back, because it's just so different. And so it's, especially when they're coming back from soft tissue injuries, these guys, especially people like Ramsey and Oxlade-Chamberlain that seem to have these repeat issues, it's clear to me that it's a biomechanical issue, which is extremely difficult to manage, and it's extremely difficult to fix. So these guys are going to be at very high risk of re-injuring something for the first 3 or 4 weeks of coming back. It's not until they've had a good sort of 5 or 6 games in the team and a bit of a run that you will sort of then, as a manager and as a fitness professional, be able to go, yep, I can trust this guy again. And even then, there's always that risk. You look at Aguero, he's the perfect example. I remember a couple of seasons ago, it was against us that he tore his calf. He was out. 2 weeks later, after coming back, tore his hamstring. He was out. Comes back again, tears a quad, then he's out. They're all related injuries. It's one of these repeat injuries, and so that's why I made the joke earlier that he's going to come back with just enough time to re-injure himself and miss our game, because when he comes back, that's extremely likely to happen.
You were talking about goalkeepers earlier. A little bit from George Bird's site, that's George with a J, who said he'll come on the pod and do a special about youth players, hopefully sooner rather than later. And he's got a new bit up on his website, which is arsenalyouth.wordpress.com. So go in there and have a look at his stuff. It's always brilliant. It says, Arsenal have taken young Scottish goalkeeper Josh Donaldson on trial. The 15-year-old who currently plays for Dundee United has been linked with several high-profile clubs and is currently training with Arsenal's youngsters at the Hayland Academy. Arsenal already have several promising young goalkeepers on their books at youth level. Finnish shot stopper Hugo Cato has featured for the club in the UEFA Youth League this season, whilst Ryan Huddart has been heavily involved with the under-18s. And in addition, schoolboys George Phillips, Jordan Perrin have both been called up to the under-18 squads this campaign, with João Virginia, a highly reputed Portuguese keeper, currently training with Franz de Cat's side after arriving in the club in the summer. So we've got someone who is British. Well, he won't last long.
I so want to hear that Finnish goalkeeper ask for if he can come in and see Arsene Wenger, and Arsene says, "Not now, Keto."
Oh dear! And as he's hiding behind the door, and he just comes in anyway.
Kung Fu's him.
Oh dear! Someone's asked us a weird one from La Flama Blanca at Rocco_619. Would you rather be rich or famous? Rich. That's not a hard question, is it?
Ask Dom, he's both.
Oh, yeah. Is anybody here would rather be famous than rich?
No.
Don't they come hand in hand anyway? If you're famous, you're probably rich.
Yeah.
No.
Just ask these knobs on Made in Twatty, whatever it's called, and bloody X Factor and all that. Then they're not famous, but because they're rich, suddenly they are. Yeah, a load of bollocks.
Rich and famous, then you can sell autographs for 10 quid.
I had a question that kind of led from the points thing. It's from Brian at Gunner Faithful. He says, what points total wins the league this season with all the increased competitions? How many losses does the winner have?
Losses, it's going to be less than 7. Twat. Well, if you look at the points now, we've played 12 games. It's a 38 game season, so you just got to be triple that. So the winner's going to have So that's 75. You're looking about 80, 82 points for the winner, I'd say.
I think the average is 82 points, isn't it?
Oh, there you go. That's not a
To
bad
win the
guess.
league? 82 points, something
But
like that.
I think Man City are going to go and buy every player ever in January, and then they will just make sure that they win it, because the owners can't be happy with win it, lose it, win it, lose it, win it. And so they're definitely going to make sure they win it.
I saw something funny this week. I know you guys will have a laugh at it as well. Robin van Persie is already being tipped to be replaced at Fenerbahce, and do you know who his replacement is going to be?
Adebayor.
Alexander Kleb.
No, Fred.
Who?
Fred.
Brazilian Fred.
And he's,
Frederick.
he's bringing Curly, Larry, and Mo with him apparently.
I thought that was good. That made me chuckle.
What did Don was saying something before that? What was he saying? I'm reading tweets as well, and we're keeping up on the FBAs as well.
82-point average to win the league, or something, something around there.
Question, wasn't it? So yeah, I say the winner's going to probably get 85. It's going to be Man City, and we're going to end up about 4 points behind there in our luck. Anyone else?
I'd probably agree with you. I just think that our squad depth, as we've seen right now, is just being stretched to the absolute limit, and it's only going to take one more little slice of bad luck on the injury front, and we could see ourselves really struggle. So a Man City can just, Sterling, De Bruyne, David Silva, it doesn't seem to matter. They've just got so much covering everywhere.
And all their youth players they got out on loan, some of them are brilliant as well. I mean, if they can afford to let go that young Swedish striker who was on loan at Celtic, he was at Feyenoord and got like about 25 goals. Guidetti, he's now playing in Spain, I think. If they can have a young player like that on their books and then afford to let him go, whereas he could start for at least half of the Premier League teams.
They let him go because that Kelechi Iheanacho, whatever his name is very highly thought of.
72, isn't he? Or something like that.
That's the one.
He keeps coming on and scoring.
Iheanacho, that's the badger.
Bless you. Yeah, so what do you think to points, Chris?
I think what the other guys have said, I do think you could probably afford up to 6 losses, which is higher than usual, I think. I don't know what the last few have been, but...
Less than Chelsea?
I think you can afford to lose 6, not because of any other reason other than the fact it's a pretty poor league this year. And I don't get me wrong, I'm not going to give a monkeys if we win it. I'm not going to look back in 20 years and go, oh yeah, but it was a poor league. I'm not going to give it a toss. I do think we'll probably... I don't know whether it's a pessimist in me. I do think we'll fall short. I just think City've got that little bit too much. But it's the luck of the draw. I think David's put on that game at the Emirates is going to be massive because. I don't see too many points drop between the pair of us between now and January. So to get a heads up on that, and you can't rule out Man United even. I don't want to say that because they've been pretty terrible this season, but they're still up there. So it'll be tight, but it's a poor league, so it's hard to judge.
And David, did you answer this? Because I'm reading tweets. I don't always listen to what everybody says.
No, I didn't. Someone here has got to represent Jeff's views. I think we are in a position where we could very well go on and win it. I accept the pessimism. I accept that City are favourites, and I accept that we have potential injury issues if we lose another 1 or 2 key players. But assuming that we don't and we start getting players back, I think there's a quality about our first, let's say our top 15, 16 players, that if we can keep 13, 14 of them fit, then I think we have every chance of doing it. Points total, I don't know. I think I hear you saying it's a weaker league, Chris. Some might say it's a stronger one because they're certainly the money coming in, the additional TV money, is allowing more sides to strengthen, I think, to a better standard that they've been at. Leicester, a perfect example. Stoke are an example. Tottenham look as though they're going to have a half-decent season.
Yeah,
so
I think you make a good point there, actually. That's fair.
There are teams that are going to take points off City and us that you wouldn't expect to in seasons past.
It's a stronger league.
Didn't Villa draw
lower
City?
Down the table. Yes, it did, yeah. It's a stronger league for the mid-table sides, which are pushing. Yeah. Whereas obviously the fact that Chelsea are not in the race, which is great, but that in theory should bode well for us. And the fact Man United are pretty terrible. The only downside, of course, is it probably means that lot down the road will probably end up in 4th, which is a shame. But or maybe even 3rd. I mean, I hate to admit it, but they are playing well.
Don't even say it.
Hopefully they'll just Spurs it up like usual. But
how about this one? Does anybody think Chelsea can still make top 4 even if they throw all their money at it?
Yeah, 100%. They'll finish. They'll finish 4th.
I
No.
don't really.
No,
I reckon
No.
the best they can do is 5th or 6th.
because I think I think Jose is on borrowed time, and I do think he'll go. And who they might get in is key, because it only takes one thing to change. All those players that are not playing for him at the moment, that'll all change just like
Who will
that. If
come
they
in,
get
Ancelotti?
I don't think Ancelotti will, but there's talk that Hiddink might be interested again.
They're 13 points off of 4th.
But I just don't think other teams will keep winning, Dom. That's the problem. I think we will and City will, but are you really saying United are going to continue winning every week? And it's Chelsea. You just know that they'll, it might be a last. It might be a last day. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I'd like nothing more than to see them finish 11th, 12th, and be
I don't
absolutely
think they give a
terrible.
shit. I just don't think they care. Like I keep pointing to other Jeff's stats at smartheader.com. That you look at their shot ratio, you look at all the analytics, that you've got a good 10, 12 games now of stats to see how teams are tracking. It would take an unbelievable turnaround for them to even get a sniff of starting to win games, because they've just been putrid. It's not they've been unlucky. It's not that they've been they are letting in so many shots on goal that they weren't doing last season. They're struggling to create shots on goal, which they weren't having a problem with last season. There's so many things going on at that club right now that it just looks to me like I just can't see them turning it around. It's not. You look at those things and you think, oh well, look, it's not an outlier. There's too many things going on there to go, well, it's just one little thing that needs changing, and then, hey, presto, they'll be all good again, because it's just both ends of the pitch that they've been stinking it up.
Do you not think they might go big in January and try and address that? Do you think they might?
I think it'll be too late.
Perhaps you've got to take into consideration that Man United are a decent team now. They're not playing entertaining football, and Liverpool under Klopp are going to just have a really good second half of the season. I don't think Chelsea will. They struggle. I think even the likes of Southampton could finish above Chelsea. Southampton may be in 5th. Leicester and West Ham will battle them for 6th.
It was only a few years ago Chelsea finished, what was it, 7th? 6th or 7th?
Yeah, they were rubbish. And that's when before Drogba, wasn't it? When Drogba had scored about 7 in one season, and everyone was going, "Oh, Drogba's a great player." No, Drogba's had a couple of good seasons, and that's it. Don't rate him at all. He's got a silly attitude. I was going to ask someone, does anyone else want to answer that before I get this next question that someone's asked?
Do what, sorry?
Does anybody else want to answer that one about how many points the champions are going to get?
No, I'm good.
You sound like you're about to fall asleep.
No, I'm playing FIFA.
Fair enough. Mark, who is at Marky249, says, would you care if there was no international football?
No.
I think we'd have to change that and go no international tournaments. I reckon... No, I wouldn't care. I mean, I like the World Cup and I like the European Championships, but I don't like all the stupid qualification. It should be all the big teams qualify and all the big teams are through, and all the little teams just have to qualify. There you go. That's unfair, but that's how I do it. So we wouldn't have any international breaks. It's rubbish. Anybody miss it?
No, I wouldn't miss it.
David?
No, but you only have to look at the money that FIFA is able to generate for itself to know that it's not going to change any time in the near future.
And all tax-free. Lovely tax-free.
And you've also got the situation that's developing around a World Cup in the winter in Qatar.
Ugh, don't. Hopefully, who is it? Philippe Auclair has agreed to come and do a special on just his views on the World Cup and all the bribery and that lot. So we're waiting for the Reverend to come back, and then I think the Reverend's going to host it, and then I shall press buttons, but I probably won't be talking, and then may have one or two others on, but that will be, we'll say to him, say what you want, we have no sponsors, we have no lawyers.
Trust me, if you want Philippe on, you don't need anybody else, he'll do all the talking.
That's it, yeah, that's what Raj is thinking. He is absolutely brilliant. Right, I've got some other questions that I cut and pasted. Gentleman Gooner. Gentle German Gooner says, with the new money from Flamini arriving, who would you rather have, Messi, Ronaldo or Neymar? Personally, I'd have Neymar because he's younger.
Neymar.
I've nearly had it.
Can I just say something briefly on this Messi story? Just quickly.
I don't know about any Messi story.
Do.
Hey, very good. Anybody that thinks, I read somewhere, and it could be a horrible source like a TalkSport or a Daily Fail, but somewhere I read in the week that the Arsenal fans were well up for this idea of paying into a share scheme, and all the fans were going to buy Messi, and if all the fans have put this money in, what a load of crap. Seriously, like I've had a lot of things in my time, and that is right up there. I mean, I think it was Guillaume Balaguer who said once upon a time that to buy Messi would take in the region of about £800 million because you've got his commercial rights, you've got his image rights, you've got his boot deal, you've got all the stuff that goes with him, and it was something like £800 million. I mean, this is not a whip round down the back of the sofa job. And more to the point, he's never going to leave Barcelona. And people are saying, oh, yeah, but his tax is too expensive. He'll find a way around it like every other high-profile sports person does, like Lewis Hamilton does. There will be a way around it. So if anyone seriously gives any credence to that story that Arsenal fans were going to get together and buy him, it's just so silly. I don't know who wrote the story, but it's just silly. Did you write it, Danny?
No, I did not. How very dare you. I wouldn't even want him here. He would get his legs broken within the first hour of being... He'd score 7 goals in his debut and he'd be broken by half-time.
It'd be interesting to see how he did in the Premier League, because as much as I'm not a fan of Cristiano pre-Naldo, I do wonder... I mean, he's done it in 2 different leagues now and probably will do it in 3 when he goes to PSG in the summer. So Messi has always been in one league.
Did you just subtly make a prediction there?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
And you can hold me to it. I'm pretty sure it's a done deal, but hey-ho.
What sort of fee?
Well, Real Madrid want the money back, which is about 80 million euros. PSG are going to probably Zlatan's going to go. Yeah, Zlatan's going to go, so that's going to free up.
Where's he going to go?
Probably MLS, from what I can gather.
I'll go Portland. Yes.
So he moves on. You get 5 million off your wage bill. They'll probably shift Lavezzi and other off the wages as well. And again, they're owned by Qatari people. 60, 70 million for Ronaldo for 2 seasons. And the thing is with Ronaldo is he said himself that he wants to go out the top level. He made some quite disparaging comments about the Qatari League and the MLS, and he said, I want to go out the very top of my level. And I think his goal is to win the Champions League with 3 different sides, because he'd be the first player to do it. And he's done it with 2, so I'm pretty sure PSG will be quite appealing for him.
Hold on, you said the first to do it. How many teams has Zlatan done it with? Is it 2? I know he's won it at Inter.
Hasn't he won the league with every single club he's been at?
Pretty much. Ajax, Juventus, Barcelona.
He didn't win it with Malmo.
Don't think he did, but no. I mean,
he didn't.
It'd be an interesting summer, because if Real Madrid do dispense with Ronaldo, they're probably going to bring in 2 major signings, I would imagine, because they can't go a summer without not getting their hands in their pocket. And if a certain French striker is busy or otherwise engaged, I think it's fair to say he'll be off as well. And we need to put Alexis in a big box and staple it shut and go no.
Give it to Gimli. You can hide it in his special place.
I'm watching the live stream from the podcast awards by Ball Street.
Are you?
Yes.
I'm watching the Twitter feed.
I will say, when we haven't won, I will inform you all.
Yes, when we won it once, and we were runner-up the first time, won it the second.
Did you know John Barnes was there? John Barnes, Stan Collymore, they're all at the awards. 2 people I wouldn't like to meet less.
I'd love to meet Stan Collymore. I love Stan. Oi, don't you pick on Stan. John Barnes is a bit of a fat twat. Look at him. Barely fits in that suit. Probably from Anfield.
Hello, Mr. Pot. I'm Mr. Kettle.
Hey, do you care about international football?
Nope, not really.
Oh, I've just seen
Don't really follow the England team much. Sorry, I made it a sour sweet. It's quite sour.
Who do you reckon's going to win it, Kate? In the summer, who's going to win the Euros?
The Euros? Germany.
Look at you taking a stab in the dark.
Who do you think, Danny?
Oh dear. I can't just go for the obvious ones. Like Spain are looking good again. Germany will always look brilliant. I don't think you can go much further than the big ones. Very rarely do you get a shock other than Greece, and that was never, ever going to happen again. So
Belgium?
Denmark.
No.
Denmark, yeah, that's a massive
never do it. Belgium are the modern equivalent of Holland for all those years. So much individual talent, but collectively average.
Big call. Number 1 in the world. We all know what the FIFA World Rankings mean. Absolutely nothing.
Bugger all. Depends how much money you want to waste.
Yeah, how can Wales be above England in
Oh,
the
God.
FIFA
Oh, God.
ranking?
Oh, God, I'm not saying anything about Wales. He'll be after me. I'm not going there.
I think Wales would smash England in a game. England is shit. England are terrible.
I
They
agree.
might be able to smash Australia.
They put Bale and... Well, last time I think we played England, we beat you. That's how fucking terrible you are.
Still
At
got
West
Tim
Ham, yeah.
Cahill? You still got Tim Cahill playing for you?
I think in the last
Scored a
World
first
Cup,
half hat-trick, thank you very much.
I think in the last World Cup, Australia did bloody brilliantly.
Yeah,
Actually,
for Australia, one of the biggest countries in the world. Never mind.
Well,
Oh,
land mass
20
doesn't really count,
million
does it?
people, hardly anyone even plays soccer, and we're still better than you at it.
Who do you think wins it, Dom?
Debatable.
Probably
No.
Australia.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't say Australia.
Australia to win the Euros, boys and girls.
Actually,
That was
no,
a great
You can't go past the Germans. I think the Germans will win.
Hey,
If their
Australia will be
performance in
the Euros.
Eurovision is anything to go by, it won't be Australia.
Oh, but they're in it, aren't they? So there's
Yeah.
every chance they could be in the
They're in it
Euros.
again.
The only thing we can pretty much be assured of is that England will probably bail out on penalties in the quarterfinals to probably somebody terrible, I would imagine. When's it draws next Friday, isn't it?
Oh, I don't
Is it
care.
next Friday? I don't know, or 2 weeks' time. I think Italy might do it. I don't know why.
Yes,
I don't know. There's no reason behind that. I just have a feeling that.
Well, the
Balotelli leading goal scorer.
yeah, maybe.
The 10
They've-
goals.
They've got some really good, talented young players that are going under the radar, and I don't know.
Oh no! I've just looked at the food they served at the FBA. So
Pies.
seriously, it looks like someone has shat on a pie. Right, I'm gonna put the picture out. I'm gonna put my microphone on. I'm gonna put my thingy on. Hold on one second.
Where is he? Here he is.
Just so
That's not my name.
you can see this. Right, hold on.
Oh, here we go. We're all going to die now. Gimli's in charge.
Right,
Technical.
can anyone see that? That is the food they've served.
That's appetising.
Would you eat that? I mean, like,
Careful, that just changed to another picture. That could have been anything.
no, that's because they're reposting.
He's not like you, Danny.
I'd have that 10 times. I'd say, get all that shit off my plate. I'll just have the chips.
There you go. There you go. That's pie and chips.
It's the gravy that's worrying. That's quite a
orange.
colour.
It's a worrying colour.
That's
Yeah.
what happens when I eat too much gluten.
I was going to say,
Seriously, though, has Michel Roux taken his people to the Football Blogging Awards that he's doing in that programme?
Michelle Poo. I don't know about Michelle Roux.
Breakfast.
That is. I mean, just look at it. Look at the consistency of it. I mean, look. Does gravy supposed to look like that? Is gravy that colour?
It smells
In
of
Manchester
cheese.
it is.
It's more like curry sauce.
We're up north. Oh.
Gravy.
Right,
Right.
should I move on to another question? This is one from our very own Jeff Arsenal's made a comment more than a question. He was on about because Jeff was going to be here, but he's stuck in traffic. He says, I'm going to have to screen my calls from Mark. I've asked Paddy Power for a price on how long before he calls me a knob. And then talking about Mark says, A Hard Day's Night or The Exorcist? Pick one. Neither. There you go. That's my choice.
Exorcist.
Hard day's night.
I don't
Any
even know
Tom
what that
Hanks
is.
film.
Big.
Yeah, big.
So I've not even seen A Hard Day's Night. I don't know what it is.
Beatles.
Definitely not then.
Danny, how could you not guess what it was?
I've got a question for you, Danny.
Yes.
The Arsenal Stadium mystery or fever pitch?
The fever pitch by a million times.
Okay. We went left field. I thought you'd go with the hipster's choice.
No, I've seen that Arsenal Stadium mystery. It's a mystery how anybody watches it. It's rubbish.
Oh, it's a shit film, isn't it?
It's not the best.
It is. It's absolute pants. I say something's occurred. Oh, let's walk like this outside and have a look.
Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV's giving an interview.
Is he?
Yeah.
That's 15 grand right down the pan.
To be the next player, you could be anybody as long as you support Arsenal and you wanted to have an opinion on it. You could get a platform to have your opinion on what you.
Choo choo, motherfucker! Look at the gap
That'll-
in between his teeth.
That'll be 25 quid, please.
Hey, don't be mean about him.
I can be mean about whoever I want.
Oh, fair
Fame
enough.
hungry cunt. I can't believe I've even said that. These are not thoughts of a Bergkamp.
No, they're not. They're yours.
Just-
You horrible shit.
Just-
I like Robbie.
Gimli.
I
Oh,
even like the pop-up pirate and the other one.
wow.
I do.
Where does it come from?
Yes. Okay, Wolfgang has a serious question from My Walking Dead. He's got his account locked, so it might mean he's important. Do we follow him? Oh, when he follows us. Guitar and vocals for a certain rock band. Oh, there you go. He says, do you feel that Meza and Alexis will stay longer than their current contracts, possibly down to how successful we are? I don't think he knows that Ozil has meant to have signed, has been offered a new contract, a new 5-year deal, hasn't he?
Fingers
Sanchez.
denied that. Wenger's denied.
Well, of course, he always does that, though.
Yeah,
He's always denying contracts. I think Sanchez and Sanchez was the one that they've probably closer to, apparently, according to some journos, and then Ozil's probably sort of next, and they're pretty confident of being able to sign both up. But as we know, contracts don't necessarily mean a whole lot these days, where Suarez signs a 5-year deal and it's gone 6 months later. So,
to be fair, Sanchez is the most urgent one to be signed up, bearing in mind the Real Madrid situation. They won't come to try and get Ozil back, but they'll move heaven and earth to get Sanchez. So the sooner we get him signed up for 5 years, the better.
The thing is, though, would he go? I don't think he'd go. I think that what he gets from the fans at Arsenal, which is what he didn't at Barcelona, which is he's just adored at this club, and I think he knows that. And I think he'd struggle to get that anywhere else in the world.
He's a winner, though, Gim. Every time you hear him talk, every time you hear him anything, it's all about winning it. So he's such a competitive animal that I think I kind of agree with that guy's statement about if we don't start showing that we're going to be competing on the biggest stage and at least pushing a Premier League title challenge right to the very end, I can see them both going, you know what, we're a couple of the best players in the world. I don't want to have my best years of my career finishing second, third, fourth, and by bowing out early of the Champions League. These guys are going to want more than that. So, wouldn't surprise me if we don't start, pushing on and winning some things very soon, that these guys might turn around and start looking elsewhere.
But then again, you're saying that we won the FA Cup last year and we won it in Ozil's first year. They're winning trophies. What more can you ask for? I know it's not leagues, but it is trophies. It's success.
The first thing Sanchez said about that was, yeah, it's great we won the FA Cup, but I want more. I want to win the Premier League. I want to win Champions League. He hardly even mentioned the FA Cup after they won it. It was straight into I want more. I want more. So if it's an FA Cup every year and we're not competing for Champions League and getting knocked out early and not competing for the Premier League, I can still see them not being satisfied with an FA Cup every year.
We've run out of questions from Twitter. I think Twitter has died, and then I completely forgot. We've got about 1 million people. Well, I think we've got 50 odd. 38, 37. God, they're sinking like a ship. Questions only from the chat window now. Sorry for missing you lot. John AFC Gooner. If we don't win the league this season, would a top 3 finish and winning the FA Cup for the 3rd time in a row would be the first team to do that in 130 years be a good season? I say fucking hell yes. Love it. Back to back FA Cups. David.
I'd agree it's a good season, but it's not an improvement, which is what people are looking for.
Oh, Kate.
Probably agree with David. It's staying on a level, isn't it? You need to push that extra step forward.
Push the envelope.
Yes.
Postman talk. Kris.
It will be success.
Sing to it again. What's going on, Gim? What's going down?
So I'm just watching this. They're saying the awards are going to be starting in the next 10 minutes.
Excellent. You keep us involved, Kris.
I will do.
I'm on the ground. I'm reporting live.
I feel like I'm there.
It's like a scene out of Brass Eye, if anyone remembers that. I think it'll be a massive, what's the word? Missed opportunity if we didn't push the league this year.
Is so open this season.
Yeah, well, but it would still be a successful season if we won the cup again. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it depends on how far off the title we are. I mean, what we were 10, 12 points last season. If we miss out by 2 or 3 points and win the FA Cup, then I think it's been successful. If we finish 8 to 10 points off the top, collapse again after Christmas or around Christmas time and struggle to sort of hit third and win the FA Cup, then yeah, we have sort of spun our wheels. But of course, you're always happy when you win as a fan when you win something. But I think it depends on how close we are to winning the cup because we haven't really been close.
The Premier League.
Yeah.
Are you able enough, Gimli, to make a comment on this? Or you donned your helmet and you're hiding in a bunker watching the FBAs? Yeah, he's gone. Right, so Ellis Mel says he's starting a new league. He said he's... here we go. Now starting another career mode on FIFA with Arsenal. Who should I sign? Kris?
Who should I sign? Career mode unfit. Who's he managing? How much money's he got? Such a...
With Arsenal.
He's got.
He said he's got a £58 million budget or something.
My bad.
I thought that's a budgie. That's a big budgie.
That's a big budgie. Well, Fakir, but if it was me, I'd sign Lacazette. So.
Kurt Garment says Lars Bender and Griezmann.
Oh,
and
not
then Oh, he's got 58 million budget. Ellis says Kramer or Bender. Which one should he go for?
Oh, Kramer, definitely. But you won't get him. But yeah, I love Kramer.
Well, don't tell him to get him then.
Sorry, I meant in real life. On FIFA, you'll get him. Yeah.
Breaking news.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's not at the Royal Football Museum
National
in Manchester. Yeah, the National Football. It's at a hotel. More on this as we get it.
It's not at the museum.
So they could have had it in London or somewhere then.
If it had been in London, we'd all would have gone.
It's just at some hotel in Manchester, the Royal Hotel of Manchester. That's where it is. So,
isn't it the Neville's Hotel that they're at? I think
we're starting, people. The awards are starting.
Okay. You let us know when something interesting happens.
Can you hear that?
Thank your mum, all that sort of thing. You are more than welcome. If you're too shy, if you're more keyboard.
Are you watching EastEnders?
You're too shy. Get on your knees and I'll do you right from behind.
Funnily enough, her name is Bianca. Bianca Westwood.
Yeah, she's the one that Jeff Stelling flirts with on Soccer Saturday.
Oh, I know her.
She's quite nice.
Oh,
move on.
Lovely. Okay, so Kurt says about this FIFA thing, would prefer Bender, then you can rotate Koch and Bender and Ramsey and Wilshere. Just play them. Oh, it's typical. Trust her to take it to that level.
You said it, not me.
Right, I've done that question. This is scrolling down too quickly. If you could ask one question to Mr. Wenger, what would he ask him from Kurt Garnett? Oh, Mr. Garnett, what a question. I'll ask Dom. He's usually full of answers.
Is there any positions currently going in the fitness room? I wouldn't mind a job.
Would you still speak to us?
Probably not, no. I'd be too good for you little people.
I love it. Oh, David, what question would you ask him?
There's a number of them. Most topical, I suppose. What on earth did Wojciech Szczesny do at Southampton? What really went down?
As in, I don't know what you want about.
When he was smoking in the showers.
Is that where it was?
Yeah.
Ah.
I'd love to know what really happened that night. There are a whole load of things like that you're having to wait for the book for if he ever gets around to having someone write the book for him.
You can have my one. What other question would you ask him?
Oh, goodness me. Okay, then. What does he really think of Jose Mourinho?
That's short, 4 letters.
No, that's what I think of him.
Chris, did you answer this?
No, I would ask him what was the truth, or what was the true figure of what he could spend in his tenure during the lean years. Like, what was the true financial position? Because I don't think anyone really knows how much his hands were tied.
Oh, Kate, would you ask him if he'd grow a beard? I bet he'd look mad with a beard.
Why would anyone grow a beard?
Because we can. Sorry, Gim.
But you get more fecal matter in a beard than you do in a toilet seat.
Best young blogger about to be announced.
Best what?
Young blogger.
Okay.
Yeah. I would ask, what on earth was he thinking on certain signings he made?
Half-time report.
Never heard of it.
They can't even spell properly on their Twitter. It's at AHT report. Not a word.
I'm just reading that out in my head.
Oh, it's some chap that looks like a bird.
Oh, he's got funny hair, hasn't he?
Oh, he has. Jesus, he looks like fucking...
Chris is rivaling you.
Susan Boyle.
Oh, Chris, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How was your mushroom fried rice?
How was my what?
Your mushroom fried rice from Just Eat.
Oh,
you need a Balti!
Are you talking about the horrible, Kate, horrible.
When I have mushroom fried rice from Interwing Dog Manchester, Ren refers to it as mushroom porridge.
Ren.
Yeah, I don't like mushrooms, but yes, I have got the costume in the cupboard.
What about the Balti?
The Balti was excellent.
He looks like Doc Brown's son.
I hope you're not referring to me.
Right,
He's got curly ginger hair.
Yeah.
So 10. It's like the live World Cup draw. Gimli's been stuffed envelopes full of 50 grand to pick the bite balls.
You can see why I got an offer to host another podcast in my absence. This is just groundbreaking. More when we get it.
Welbeck whose name I'm not saying right, you have to buy one player from each club in the Premier League. Who would you buy from and what club? I think we can all have 2 players each. Who wants to go first? I'll go
Players,
first.
we buy from teams.
I'll pick Aguero and I'll pick Yaya Toure. There you go. No one else can have them. Anyone else want to pick 2 players you have to buy? I can't have them from the same team,
can I go?
Yeah, go on.
I'll go Hazard and Martial.
Oh, cheeky. I can't have Yaya, can I? Because that's both from the same club. So while I'm thinking about another one, Dom, make Kris go last. The hipster can go last when he's got no players to pick from.
He's going to pick some kid from Southampton's youth division anyway. I don't know. I'll have to go Aguero because he's, I think, the best player.
I've already picked him. You can't have him.
No, well, I've got him.
Shit, I've been done.
Oh shit, I don't know who else. A midfielder. Who can we pick as a midfielder that's good? Schneiderlin.
Man United's already been poached. You can't have a Man United player. Obviously, you'll have to argue with Kate.
There's not really. That's the thing, isn't it? It's actually quite difficult to get anybody that's better than what we've got.
And we moan at Wenger. Yeah. We're experts and we can't pick any.
There's plenty of decent players that aren't in the Premier League, let's be honest, but not so sure about inside the Premier League.
Oh, David, you think you're grinning? Oh no, I'm not. I'm looking at the YouTube channel. You're grinning 5 minutes ago.
I'm thinking who I've got left, but wait a minute, I'm still going to come up with a couple. Definitely David Silva.
Oh,
and John Stones.
I've got more breaking news from the awards. She's just announced the person that's going to give the next award as Barry, and he's just had to correct her live on stage. His name is actually Gary. More on this as we get it.
How much would you have done this gig for, Gim? You'd have done that gig for nothing.
I'd have done it for fuck all, and I'd have signed autographs for £5. I'd have gone half price.
Fucking undercut them. I'm thinking what players we could sign. I like Wanyama at Southampton. I think he's a fucking animal, and he's going to kill people. Old school defensive midfielder. We'll go out there. David Hillier, anyone who comes anywhere near him. And I also like the young kid at Everton, English bloke, midfielder. Go on, Kris.
Barkley.
That's it, Ross Barkley. I want him as well. Kris, you'll go.
Okay, well, Barkley and Stones were the 2 I would have had, but in the interest of making it different, I would have a fit Callum Wilson, because I just think if he got the opportunity at a big club, I think he would get goals, personally.
Yes.
And I would have N'Golo Kante from Leicester, who I think in the next couple of years is going to be really, really good. He came from Cannes, so you should know a bit about him, Danny.
No, I call him a cunt. Say that wrong in French. That is actually what it is, isn't it?
Cannes, yes.
Yeah.
I think if you speak to Leicester fans, they'll tell you how good the kid is. And
didn't he cost about 7 million this summer?
Not even that. I think it's about
maybe 7 million euros then.
8 million euros, about 5 million. Yeah, but he's only 24. I think he's quality. So yeah, I'd have those 2.
I've just decided I'll take Matic from Chelsea in midfield.
Oh,
I think
I genuinely think his powers are waning, but
but that's because the whole Chelsea team have been disgusting. You put him in a decent side again, I think that he would be very, very useful for us for a season or 2 to help out.
What if Seth's come back? Do you reckon we'd make the best of him?
No, he's gone.
Yeah, ruined. Yeah. Off to MLS sooner rather than later. And I'm an MLS fan.
I'm surprised nobody would have Andros Townsend, so he can just run aimlessly up and down the wing doing nothing.
Actually, I would have Danny Rose because you can rest 2 points on his arse as he runs, and they wouldn't fall off.
Or of course, the new world's greatest player, Dele Alli. We could have him.
After the Van der Goal.
Yeah.
We could get Harry Kane to carry Mesut Ozil's bag around for him.
Interesting that no one said Vardy.
Yes.
I think he's 28. We'll get 6 months out of him.
I think Vardy's going to United in January. I really do.
You think what?
I think Vardy will end up at Man United in January because he's not outside.
I don't think they'll sell. Those clubs don't. No, those clubs don't need to sell anymore. They'll go, you can have him in the summer if you really want him. They just look at John Stones. They turned down £40 million for the kid. They just don't need to sell anymore. That's the ridiculous thing about Premier League money, and why other clubs are laughing at the Premier League is that they're spending stupid amounts of money on players that aren't worth half of what they're going for, and it's purely because the Premier League TV money has come in, like Dave said earlier, and these teams like Stoke and Leicester and West Ham are able to afford really good players. But the other thing that it does is they turn around and go, we don't need your money. We need the player more than we need the money. So, you know, they might sell Vardy, but then all of a sudden they drop from where they are, which is third at the moment. They drop down to, you know, 10th or 12th by the end of the season. They'd much rather finish in the top 10 and keep Vardy.
Would the player want to go there, do you reckon? Would like, if he got, because he's what, 28, 29, it was probably his one chance at a big move. I wonder if...
You say, yeah, you go in the summer. Look, John Stones wanted to go too. They told him to get stuffed.
That was Everton though, wasn't it?
We're getting some really good questions. One from Akib. He says, what's your favourite colour? Mine's purple. Kris
Mine's
is black.
purple.
Mine's yellow.
Luminous green. Fluorescent green. Well, fluorescent yellow, I suppose.
Always
Dom?
red.
Dom likes rainbows.
Yeah, bit of everything.
Is
Tom
yours
likes
red, Dave?
pink. Davies likes brown.
Oh, God.
Okay,
dear.
Bert FM in brackets Stew, who is at Stu Bert FM, says, if Bentner, Chamak and Park were the last three strikers alive, how long would it take for football to implode? There's no answer to that. Mark Barham says, this is at MATTMARC 2000. Who would you like to have a pint or two with after a winning finish to the season? Tony Adams, no pints, I would have milk or fizzy pop. Or Bergkamp. Actually, it'd be Bergkamp and Adams. I've nicked the best two. Anyone else?
I didn't quite get the question. What was the...
After a winning season, you have to have a pint or two with a player.
Oh, right, okay.
Or player. This is player.
From the past or current or
from the future.
Messi, it's got to be Messi, isn't it?
Yeah. That time Messi scored 60 goals in a season for us. That was great. He was 45, but it was great.
I would pick Freddie because it would just be manic and
you wouldn't be able to get any words out.
Oh, honestly the things I do with that man.
I've got two. You'd never see me again afterwards, but it'd be Chesney and Wilshere. That'd be the end of me, but it'd be a hell of a weekend.
Quick sidebar, Danny. You mentioned Park Chu-young. Do you know where he is now?
Didn't he go back and play in South Korea?
FC Seoul. He's gone back to Korea.
I was right then.
And he's bagged 7 goals in 23 games.
Oh, he's hit the big time.
Oh yeah, he did play for Al Shabab, that world force, for a little while, but yeah.
Wasn't that the song that Ricky bloke sang? Oh, Shabab, my baby.
Hey, Ricky Martin.
Classy Ricky Martin, fresh out.
It was shebangs.
Oh, all right. You get back to
play that a lot.
watching. Kate, your two players.
Freddie and
Perez.
Alexis.
Oh. Would you rub Alexis better?
Yes, I would.
Good to know. That's good to know. Who hasn't answered that? Gimli, are you still with us? Live from not.
I'm still with us live from the Podcasting Awards. TS Bible just won the latest award, and the best established football blog went to a man that looked like a fat Will from the Inbetweeners. More on that as we get it.
What was his name?
Will.
Golden Times.
He doesn't. He looks like Daniel Bedingfield, if any of you remember
Does
him.
he? Fuck. No, that was the latest one.
I'm get through this.
Oh yeah, the one on one whatever it's called, the one who's just won the established social blog account, or whatever it is. Looks like Daniel Bedingfield.
All right, here we go. Gimli, what two players would you like to have a pint with after I was winning the title?
Oh.
When in your case, some illegal stuff, kittens, mashed up kittens.
Jack Wilshere for one, because
and from Ireland.
Jack Wilshere and shame. Do you know what? It's a shame of Sharvin left, because I reckon I could go with him vodka for vodka. I reckon I could. That would be a messy night.
This question is only to Dom, which Adil Rahman says, what is your best trip for attracting a lady?
Don't I get to drink with two players at the end of the season?
Oh shit, I thought you answered. Good job. See, I don't know what's going on. This is why I don't think it would ever get done. David, what two players would you like to have a tipple of your finest beverage with after winning the title?
Graham Roberts and Mickey Hazard.
In the back of Mickey's taxi.
Yeah.
With talk sport on.
And you can say, Mickey, are you a Chelsea fan or a Spurs fan today? Have you got a real answer, or is that it?
No, that was it.
Oh,
I would so enjoy that.
I thought you were going to say Frank McClintock and George Graham.
That too.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Dom, tip for chatting up the ladies.
I don't know. Best ask Jason Davies. He seems to be. He's got your mum wrapped around his little finger. Not literally. That's not a euphemism.
God.
But he seems to be quite smooth. I don't know. Maybe just get a stick and bash him over the head and drag him back to your cave. Does that still work? Is that allowed still, or?
I think
that's fine.
I can confirm it is still legal in Wales.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm sure Mr. Fife would have some good tips on.
We need to answer these.
Fife just drops his wallet on the ground with all of his $100 bills in there, or £100 bills just fall out, and he's like, "Oh, whoops! That wasn't supposed to fall out of my pocket."
That
It
was
takes 3
very
grown men
starved.
to lift it. Right, next one from the native eagle. Who would you rather, Spurs win the league or listen to a 6-hour audiobook read by Michael Owen?
Oh, Christ.
Michael Owen, hold no knees every time.
Yeah.
Michael Owen, because I'd fall asleep after about 10 minutes.
Oh, good answer.
Yeah, Michael Owen, sadly.
Thing is,
But Christ.
Michael Owen, you could shake the psychological effects. Spurs winning the league, you'd never fucking be able to forget that. You know it.
And nor would they. They'd keep banging on and on.
There'd be DVDs and shirts and
It would be like Liverpool times 10, wouldn't it? Their fans just
Well, the
go
last
on
time
and on.
Spurs won it, they wrote it on stone tablets. That's how long ago it was. Right, anyone want to answer that before I move on? Good. Brian Muller says, if Madrid poses the biggest challenge to Arsenal keeping Alexis, which I think that means if anyone's going to sign him, it's them, which club would we worry most about tempting Ozil away? Ooh, Bayern.
Bayern
Munich, yeah.
Anyone think it's not Bayern?
Nope.
Nobody else can afford
Manchester City are always going to be in the frame
him.
for every valuable player.
Okay, one here just for Chris from Thomas Shelley says, what is your opinion on Alan Halovic? All of your opinion, thanks. Well, I haven't got one. Has anyone else got one?
Halilovic.
Just yours then, Chris.
He's on loan from Barcelona to... Oh, Christ. I've actually gone blank where he's gone. Yeah, he's on loan from Barcelona, really. I think it's Las Palmas, I want to say. He's very, very talented. Again, Tom is your best bet for information on the inside, but he's a real talent. He's a central attacking midfielder. He's another one of these, like Sergi Roberto at Barcelona have got as well. He's just another one of these from the production line of La Masia that will probably be a world superstar in the coming years. But
you keep saying Tom. What's Tom's Twitter? It's at
tcanton94.
There you go, all the way.
And I have published a blog from him today.
Oh, yes.
Tell
Go and
us.
give it a read.
Go on. What's the Twitter account for the blogs?
It's the Bergie Blogs, at the Bergie Blogs.
There you go, people. Go give it a tickle. And if they follow you, do you follow them back?
We do?
You don't blank them.
No, we don't blank anyone.
Jolly good.
And
Right.
he's currently playing for Sporting Gijón on loan. Is Halovic, and he's a Croatian international, 19 years of age, born in Dubrovnik, Croatia.
Ah, lovely place. I often holiday there. Kurt Garnett says, Danny pronounced my name wrong. I'm a legend now. Dream manager to replace Wenger, not Guardiola, from JANUIJ, number one. Some bloke with J, lots of J's in his name. Who would Ancelotti all day long, and that's Chris's answer as well, so that's two of us out of the way.
But, yeah.
Hold on, David and Dom and Kate, who would you want to replace Wenger?
Oh,
Jose?
No.
Bilic.
Bilic, that'll be fun.
Yourself, Dom, is it? Just you? Pick yourself?
Yeah, I'd probably be able to give myself a good run at that, I think. All I have to do is keep them all fit, and then we'd win the league. It'd be
That's
easy.
it. You wouldn't have to do anything.
I'm going Vieira.
Oh, yeah, recent manager of New York City.
Or Thierry. The guy at what's its name? Olympiacos, the Spanish bloke. He's really highly thought of if you want like a completely left field.
Well, the thing is that Arsenal's going to be there at least another season or two.
Probably 3.
So much is going to change in that time when it comes to managers. I mean, Ancelotti's going to be a little bit older. Are they really going to want to go for someone like him that's only going to be around for another couple of seasons, or he might have a job by then? So much is going to change. Pep, God knows what's going to happen with him. Is he going to stay at Bayern? Is he going to go to City? Who knows? So it's such a difficult one that there's going to be someone that... I mean, I'm not scared of Arsenal leaving. I think we're in such a strong position now that it's set up for someone to come in and and be able to have the best chance possible at doing well. So whoever it is, it will just depend on the timing, I think.
Well, what we're all saying is Owen Coyle is the man. Definitely.
I keep laughing when you talk, Dom, because I'm reading the other questions from John AFC Guna. Should there be, in quotes, press the red button to mute option whenever Michael Owen speaks when he's co-commentating on
Oh, yes, I've got some breaking news from the awards. The video stream that they've got live to the awards has just messed up. Oh no, it's going again now. And Arseblog is up for this next award. Friend of the show. I will let you know. There's two fans.
What's the award?
It's football influencer.
Is he gone tonight, David? Do you know?
I haven't got a clue.
Probably has, I'd imagine.
Get on one of his butlers and find out. And if he is, tell him there's a fiver in it from ABW. If he streaks, then hits the presenter.
Swiss Ramble is up for this one as well.
Oh, that's a tough one. I think Andrew would probably want Swiss Ramble to win it. He's very
Judges,
magnanimous.
Arseblog's won it.
Brilliant.
Judges have made Arseblog the winner.
Brilliant.
Congratulations to Andrew. What a top bloke. He's been on the show a few times. Best of luck to him.
Brilliant.
Someone we know was recently on his show, weren't they, David? I think you were very good.
He's not there.
Not there. Probably off in his jet somewhere.
Is Andrew Allen there?
I don't think Gimli knows.
No.
Right, here we go. It says, well bequestrista, says Danny actually pronounced my name correctly. I fixed that. Right, Tyrone, I think Tyrone's drunk. He's put in 4 messages. Guys, and he should say girls, girl listening. Listen, I just want to take this moment to remind you all, even past and present panel members, how much I love you and appreciate you for all you fellas have done.
Oh, Collingwood's won the football one, the fans.
Oh, that's good. I like Stan.
He's live periscoping off the stage at the blogging awards. What a massive Danny. What a massive cockwomble.
Kind of proves a point though, doesn't it? What a bell end.
No. Well, that's your comments, not ours. Tyrone says, when I move to England in 3 years, I plan on having a drink and getting to know yous even better. By the way, I'm not drunk, and in brackets I wish, but I'm currently at the art studio here at my college working on a portrait while listening. Oh, Tyrone.
He's doing a portrait of you, Danny.
He probably is.
That's what's happening right now. He's got you on screen and he's paused it and he's just drawing a... He's probably got you. He's drawing you nude as well, I bet.
It's the picture of Danny in the bath.
He's drawn a picture of him like Miley Cyrus in Wrecking Ball.
Oh God!
If anybody wants to go and follow Tyrone, go and have a look at the people I follow. Yeah. And he's one of the recent ones. He's brilliant. Oh, Kelly's there. Kelly Meyer. Hello, Kelly. What's that hula boot?
Hello.
Who's Kelly Meyer? I know Kelly.
I will spell her name differently then, shouldn't she? I'm in a seminar on peatland reclamation. Oh, now.
Get some cream for that, I hear.
Oh, Keeb is finally here. These messages are probably from fucking ages ago. Well, Questerarista, what's your favourite thing at the park to go and do when you were younger? Me, run with a wind in my hair. Anyone else?
Swings.
Swings.
Likes a bit of swings.
Yes.
Used to like the roundabout, but I've got a bit of a thing about them. I went round once and fell off and got my face stuck underneath and it hurt and stuff. It's probably
Nowadays
one for after dark, that, but...
Nowadays you like the pirate ship, don't you, Chris?
Arr. Do you remember, what's, Danny, you'll know this. What's, David or Danny, I'm going to rely on you for this. There's a place somewhere up country and it's just like a series of like, kind of like rope towers and, like forts and stuff. It's just like a series of like rope swings, and it's like Go 8, but it was more off of the 80s, 90s.
Well, I couldn't have used it, could I? Because I'd just be sitting on the floor looking up, pointing and crying some heights.
Sounds like it involved exercise. I wouldn't have a clue.
Unless you drink beer, Dave's not going.
Wherever it was, I can't remember, but anyway, there was lots of like, they had those cargo net things, and you had to, like Crystal Maze, we had to crawl across the nets, and they were so far up.
Did your hair get caught?
No, but my foot did, and my granddad, God rest his soul, had to cut me out with his penknife because my foot was lodged stuck and I was hanging and I couldn't get my foot out.
Did he have to cut your foot off?
No, my foot is.
That's what started him being a pirate in his wooden leg.
But had he not
get Crocodile Dundee over there?
Had he not cut my leg out, I would still be dangling to this day.
A penknife? That's not a knife.
That's not a knife. Yes.
Well, Becca says Frank de Boer would be ideal for me. Yeah, and Akeem says I would also want Bergkamp. Well, while we're at it, might as well have them both. Kurt Garnett is off. He says, give me a follow on Twitter. He is at CLG_the_BFA. I'm still waiting for my birthday shout out, guys. Lol, 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 lol. Well, I instantly take a hatred to all things that end in lol. But happy birthday. Don't you say it. Happy birthday, Kurt.
Asperger's.
We've got up with the questions. John AFC Gooner says, June 2017, Flamini owner, Wenger chairman, Vieira manager, Henry and Bergkamp assistant manager coaches. Well, it's not too bad a shout, I suppose, is it? That's it. See if we've got any mysterious tweets from people. Liam has just tweeted, good luck to us and United stand MUFC at the FBAs. I think we need more than luck. A final question from Bert FM says, would Wilshere deck Mourinho for 10 wins of blue, or would they have to be Super Kings? I don't know what that means.
You'd do it just for fun, I think.
Okay.
Wouldn't need any incentive.
What was the question, Danny?
Would Wilshere deck Mourinho for 10 wins of blue, or would they have to be Super Kings?
I get it.
Good. It's nice. Do we prolong this any longer?
No, let's treat this like Christmas and wrap this shit up.
No, we can't go until the podcast has been announced.
Oh, dear, it could be hours.
I'm going to go.
No, they're whistling through it now.
Yeah, they are. They're smashing through it. They've done about 3 awards. I just can't be asked to keep you out. I'm just
Stan
playing
Collingwood's got an appointment in the car park at 10 o'clock. They've got to be out there by then.
Stop being horrible about Stan. I like him. My friends.
Dogging 2 o'clock.
Hey, and it's funny though, he did bring a tall blonde with him. Pray for the tall blonde.
If only you heard him on Danny Kelly's life stories, you wouldn't be so
The funniest thing I've ever heard him say is when he was at Manchester City and he said, "Oh, we're currently stood in the Bell End."
Feels like I was there with him. Do you say you have to go, Dom?
Yeah, I'm going to get out of here.
Cheers for joining us. Without you, this would have been nothing.
Thanks, Dom.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Dom, I need your medical help before you go. Well, no, not before you go, because that'd be wrong on live, but I need your medical help with my poorly leg.
And you what?
On my poorly leg.
Basically, Dom, I was frogging her last night, and she kicked the radiator.
For Christ's sake.
And she's done something with the back of her leg.
So it was only a pretty brief injury then.
Yeah, it was quick. No, I was running up the stairs earlier. It's the perils of running.
Basically, I took some Viagra, and she was scared for her life.
There is
off with a broom handle.
There is an image, boys and girls, that no one ever wants.
Literally, no word of a lie. I got to the second step because I'm so short, and I pole vaulted up the rest of them.
Oh, dear. Everyone say goodbye to Dom then. Thanks for joining us, Dom.
Bye,
2 hours of
Dom.
nonsense.
Cheers, Dom.
See ya.
Cheers, Dom.
Bye.
So I'll tell you, without him, we'd be no one. We stole the show. So we're just going to sit here and waste people's times by doing nothing until the award is announced.
They're talking to that bloke with the funny hair again now. And
oh my god. Basically, right, he looks like Benedict Cumberbatch with... Whose hair would you say he had? Like Keith Lemon, like a dark blonde Keith Lemon haircut with a Cumberbatch face.
You know that kid who was famous when he was little for being into antiques, and then when he got old, he turned into a woman and went into Celebrity Big Brother?
Oh, right, yeah.
Looks like him. Her.
Oh, I'm trying to scroll down their bloody thing. There we go. Best football blog is United Stand MUFC. I think they might be Man United. Just looking through the other awards. Best new football blog is The Set Pieces. It mentions Tony Hibbert. No, Tony Hibbert, didn't he play for Wolves, David?
No, hang on, Kenny. Tony played for
wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Is he Birmingham?
Could have been. It's all the Midlands. Anyway, it's not Arsenal. Fans' choice, best social football account, at Deluded Brendan. Jack Wilshere follows it, and also many ex-pros such as Ian Wright, Alan Shearer, and Jimmy Bullard.
It is very good.
Is it?
Deluded Brendan is. It's basically like lots of tweets in the style of Brendan Rodgers.
They've gone for a half-time break.
Oh, we
dear.
might as well wrap this shit up then.
Christ on a bike.
Best established blog, the Goal Goalden Times. Most of the co-founders actually never met face to face and use Facebook and Hangouts as a virtual. Well, none of us have met apart from. Actually, a few of us have. I've never met any of you, and I intend to keep
And
it
I
that
will
way.
say Tyrone. Tyrone has put. By the way, you guys gave me the great idea of doing one of Danny swinging on a ball and chain. I'm currently entertaining the idea. And Tyrone,
Tyrone.
I for one can say, if you do it, I will make it my profile picture for a whole month.
Tyrone, that's going to cost you a fortune in canvas, mate.
Hold on, I've got to tell. You know the Miley Cyrus where she's sitting on the chain and ball thing swinging. Someone's going to do a naked one of me. He's going to draw it. What are you laughing for? Racist. Oh dear. Right, so we're going to give up then, are we, Gim? We're going to wrap it up. We've been going for 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Well, 2 hours and 10 minutes. It's kind of a bit of a long podcast. But I thought it would be a nice touch if we were on air. Either way, but we're not going to win it, so...
No, we're not. And we won't be in it next year either because it's not fair and all the people who have to go out their way to tweet us and all that lot and then we can't even turn up. If it was in London, most of us would be there. If it was in Manchester, we'd all be there. In fact, no, I'd have got them to do it in my back garden.
Because we'd all sleep at Danny's house the night.
That's it, in the tents, in the cold.
You can't have a tent if they've got a marquee in their back garden for the walls, can we?
Yeah. No, I've got a big barn. I live on a farm. We could do that. Yes,
all right,
there you
David
go.
Cameron.
Yes. Just down Silver Street if you're trying to find me. Shh, I'm trying to put them off. Right, Gimli.
Yeah.
Get some bow and a wrapping paper. Wrap this shit up.
So, I'd like to thank everyone that has joined me tonight. Dom, who unfortunately is no longer with us. Sounds like he's dead.
He's not dead.
Only on podcast terms.
Chris and Kate and David and Danny. We hope you have enjoyed the show. We weren't going to put anything out this week, but I think, hey ho,
Danny got withdrawal symptoms, so we had to.
Yeah, this is like Danny's crack for meeting people.
That's it.
You don't go out the house, so you've got to meet online people.
That's it. And look where it's got me. Fucking nowhere.
Yeah, it really has. So that was a Bergkamp Wonderland live Q&A special. Thank you so much for listening, and keep it Arsenal. Good night.
Night all.
Bonjour, cheeky monkeys. Hello, John.
Who has a fucking half-time break? It never even got started to have a half-time break.
They're still digesting.